Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. A little premature. Mic on.
I usually throw it on for the last loop.
I know. I took a sip of coffee and I just right into the mic there.
Sorry, man.
We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. Hey, sometimes you miss something. All 3 hours get posted if you do, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like. Do so. JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. It's also at 979 ESPN Radio. If you go there, you can Periscope the program. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. And, I think we're all caught up beyond the WTSM app, which you should use. See, you got your little smoothie there, Tom.
Little JB smoothie.
A little smoothie right there. Smoothies are good.
I'm recovering, man.
I made a smoothie this morning. I had one with chai seeds and some other things in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good smoothie.
This isn't necessarily a plug for this business because they don't, work with us here.
They should, though.
But the body cleanse, people know,
Body cleanse is good stuff.
That's some good stuff right there.
It is good. I'm just beating this mic half to death.
It's loaded up with some protein, too, to help from, recovery here.
Well, you were at Frequency XP, were you not?
That's correct. Doing a boxing workout today.
There you go. Get after it, buddy. You know who didn't get after it in today's U.S. Open? Rory McIlroy. Woo! My goodness gracious, Rory. The U.S. Open is underway at Shinnecock Hills, and I'll just say again, what? That's the name of the place.
Nothing.
Yeah. So I'll just say again that I love the U.S. Open. I don't like when the course gets away from them. The course has not gotten away from them. This just has to do with win and poor play. But sweet Jesus, you don't see world-class players like Rory McIlroy throw up a plus 10 or worse. And that's what you got. The U.S. Open, its 268th official worldwide event for Rory McIlroy in his career, including those as an amateur. It's only the third time that he's ever shot an opening round of 10 over par or worse. So if you got Rory in your pool, you're done. It's over. You can stop watching. If only the pool is, on your mind, you can call it a day. Probably. I say that. It's ongoing. A lot of big numbers out there. Who knows? He comes back and shoots even par tomorrow or -4 or something.
Right.
And he's there on the weekend because the numbers are big. I don't know what the cut is projected to be currently.
Oh, they don't even talk about it right now.
No.
They're having to break out the abacus.
Yeah. Like, guys, plus 22 is the cut. And there are a lot of guys like, oh, just missed it. So, a lot of struggles out there. Including a professional today throwing up a 92, I think is the
It was a
big
92.
Number.
He doesn't have the A attachment next to his name. So, yeah, that would help, actually. If it was an amateur, people would say,
yeah.
It's cool that he got in.
I think half of the fun is watching these guys who are so good, so consistently awesome, best in the world at what they do, really have to struggle and get through the golf course in a way that tests not only their physical ability, but a mental toughness that most courses and most challenges do not equal on the PGA Tour. I like that. I also want to see great shots rewarded. And I don't think the course like it was in 2004 is a mess. These wins...
Well, and
they're reeling.
A great shot is much different on this course, too. If you look at the second hole, which is a long par 3, it's about 250 today it's playing. You have to hit the shot about 220 to 225 and let it run towards the pin. That's the great shot. What we're used to seeing week to week is somebody drop it in somewhere in a 10-foot circle around the pin and spin it back or have it bounce forward.
Yeah.
And it either goes in or
It's target practice, yeah.
Right. The target's much different. They're in different spots. It's a blend of what we are used to on the American PGA Tour and what the Open Championship brings to light. And then the other thing about this one and why it's a little bit more manageable than 2004, the fairways are wide here. There is fescue, but you got to earn your way into the native grass or the fescue. This isn't like the challenge of 14 years ago where the USGA said, screw golf.
Never really playing back-to-back holes in which the wind direction is the same. So, again, the challenge is It's not just the course layout. It's not just the fescue. It's the wind. It's the fact that you have to hit different shots, different types of shots on each hole. It's fun. It's fun. I hope the wind. I hope we get a nice mix of what we have today, and then completely calm, and then the wind picks back up. But I like that evened out through the field. The one downside to the British Open is that there are arbitrary conditions that affect some players, don't affect others, and thus I don't always like the way that championship is determined.
Yeah, and I remember, this is another thing about weather. A lot of technologies have advanced, but there's some things you just can't do regarding weather, and that's predict things with a certainty a couple of days out.
No.
Monday or Tuesday, I'm watching Golf Channel's live from the U.S. Open, and they're talking about how they're expecting 10-mile-an-hour winds. It shouldn't really be blowing all that hard. Yeah, oops. Right out the gate, because I'm watching Brooks Koepka this morning. He tees off just a little bit around 7:45, a little bit after 7:40. And right out the gate, I'm thinking, whoa, I guess they're just gusting in the beginning. No, but you get to hole 6, hole 7, and the flags, massive flags are still blowing. Mm-hmm. That's what they're dealing with right now. And moreover, the wind direction is completely different than their practice rounds dating back to last weekend.
One thing about the U.S. Open, and I do like this, 9,000 people started out with a dream to qualify for this thing. They slowly whittled it down to 156, 49 of the 156 players, first time out there at the Open. But this is interesting. We were talking to Jeff Hall last night on SiriusXM PGA Tour channel. Beyond the Tips, me and Trey Jones, Trey being the coach at Florida State, really the star of that show. But it's cool because we get access. Jeff Hall is the USGA's managing director of rules of all Open championships. And this guy, anything you see on the course was set up by him. And certainly he has a say in what they do in course setup. And he actually, I found out, goes to these U.S. Open sites 3 years in advance as they start talking about what they're trying to do. They were all well aware of what happened in 2004 where the course got away from them. Retief Goosen ends up winning that Open, but the story wasn't Retief Goosen, but rather the 7th hole, and they're running out there with a hose between groups.
Interesting goalposts for them this year at Shinnecock because, they remember what happened in 2004, but then they remember what happened last year at Erin Hills.
16 under.
Which is not USGA major golf.
Not what they wanted, and Brooks made that course bow down. There was nothing. That course had no teeth for him. He hit over the trouble, really had no problems, just bombed away, and made some big putts, especially on that back nine where he just kind of carried on with an easy win. Minus 16 ain't winning this tournament. If you get to minus 16, it certainly is winning this tournament, but nobody's going to touch minus 16. This looks more like even par, 1 under, 2 under, 1 over, 2 over. Going to win you the U.S. Open. So I think we'll get a traffic jam. But one thing I did like is he was talking about how there aren't too many special exemptions for the U.S. Open. You got to qualify, right?
Yeah.
In fact, quote, we've only given 7 men in history more than one special exemption. We gave Retief one when he requested it 2 years ago. And there's been talk this week because he won at Shinnecock Hills. Why isn't Retief Goosen here? Well, he used it 2 years ago. He got an exemption. They're not going to give it to you again. Sorry. And then number two, they did it another time where Hale Irwin got into the 1990 U.S. Open at Medina, and a couple other different things where they've done this. Curtis Strange, 2-time Open champion.
Back-to-back,
last back-to-back, had to qualify for the U.S. Open in 2001 and walked over to Jeff Hall and others with the USGA after having done it and said, wow, I forgot just how exhausting this is, but it's why it's so special. It's why I'm proud to have won it. I'm glad that we still do this. So for people who don't know, yeah, your exemptions run out and you have to qualify. Adam Scott had to qualify for this year's U.S. Open. The guy's one of the best 50 players in the world.
Easily, yeah.
And they're going, no, man, go qualify. And he did. And he ended up, and the interesting thing about that is that Adam Scott shot a 63 at Shinnecock. When was it? 63 wasn't the U.S. Open, but he shot a 63. Well, he did in 04.
04, he was.
He might have shot a 63 in 04.
He was an up and comer. It was 03 or 04 that he won the Players. and he
Yeah,
announced his presence.
After he threw it in the drink and then still got up and down.
Right,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And he had a regular-sized putter at that time, just to note that he was able to make a big putt under pressure with a regular size putter.
He's a good player, Tom.
As it pertains to the weather, though, when I came in today, Matthew told me that the weather forecast as they have them now, a little bit more accurate now, you're looking ahead, is tomorrow morning is probably going to be the best window of all the 4 times, being this morning, this afternoon, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon.
So if you're lucky to tee off tomorrow morning, make hay.
Which is what Tiger's doing. And, we won't spoil everything about what Tiger is doing.
Yeah, I'm going to give limited updates because I know a lot of you want to get home and watch the coverage. You're at work right now. So we'll just give you things here and there. We know, if you don't know, Tiger started out with a triple bogey on number 1.
That's true.
Welcome to the Open.
From the middle of the fairway.
Thanks for a triple. Come on, Slick. Dustin's at -1, by the way.
Not excited to be here.
I guess not. Hop on that yacht, baby. He's staying on a yacht just off. That's so awesome. How cool is that to roll up there and be like, well, just stay on the yacht?
Yeah. Tom Rinaldi made a joke about that when they threw it to him on SportsCenter, and he was sitting alongside Andy North, the intrepid Tiger Woods reporter. And he said, how about Tiger this week, Andy? He's sleeping on his little dinghy.
What?
And Andy North went, well, the thing about Tiger is...
he just moved forward.
Andy was stunned.
It is also awkward.
And Rinaldi started with that really weird smile. This was a live field report.
I'm getting uncomfortable hearing the retelling of that, and I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. FSU has announced its Hall of Fame class 2018. Lots of people we can congratulate. I want to start by saying, good on you, Odell Haggins. The year of Odell Haggins continues, right? Best story. So yesterday on Seminole Headlines, we got a question from a headliner that was 3 top FSU stories of the year to you, right? And I said, and, we kind of were vetting that, and I said, well, the Elite 8 run for the basketball program, without question. I think the softball national championship qualifies for that. And the third big story of the year was the demise of the Jimbo Fisher era at Florida State.
Oh.
I mean, that's the official collapse.
From the game of the century, right?
Yeah, because just plummeting into the side of a mountain.
Remember what it was a year ago. We were all geeked to see how the program measures up to the mighty Alabama.
Think about this time last year,
yes.
Tom. I mean, right now, because, again, we are now at a place where when we come back on Monday, we're looking at, 70-something days till the start of football. That's amazing, right? So I was thinking about that and how giddy we are for the Virginia Tech game. But then I was reminded of how giddy we were for the Alabama game. And what we didn't know was, my God, not only would we lose that game, we'd lose our starting quarterback and apparently our entire staff as the head coach checked out.
It was more about what happened after that game, though, because at least at halftime you're sitting there going, all right, they got a chance. And by the end of the game, I can remember I just sat there. I took in that game stone cold sober, and I just wanted to break it down because it's like it's an inverse season. You're playing your bowl-type game right off the bat, and it's a perfect measuring stick of where you are and where you're not. But remember, we were all saying, good on you, Charles Kelly, after that game. The defense played well. The O-line wasn't a train wreck, especially in pass protection.
No, Francois played terribly was one of the problems, and it sucked that he got hurt, but he was awful in that game, period, in the second half in particular.
So, even after one game in the season, it would have been stunning, if you guaranteed somebody that we were going to lose 6 games. You would say, no, I know we're losing our quarterback.
Once Francois got hurt, I didn't think they'd lose 6 games. No, you're right. I didn't think we'd lose 6 games. In fact, the opposite. I thought Blackman would come in and play really well. The players had rallied around him. Jimbo had talked to me about him and said he's really good. We saw him in that open practice, and we were impressed. So I thought, well, I guess he's just continued to impress. And given that you have enough games against the likes of a Louisville or a Wake or an NC State, you thought, okay, well, I'll chalk up a certain number of wins here. Maybe we can get to 8 wins. We've really had a setback.
You're right.
But maybe the defense and the 8 wins, that's what we can do. Yeah.
But you had the hurricane happen, right?
Oh, you had so many bad things happen at once. Yeah.
And then you had to reschedule the game at the end of the season even to be bowl eligible.
Well, by that point, the thing had become a complete and utter cluster, you know what.
Well, and that's where Jimbo has to be a little bit more like Spurrier, because Spurrier will downplay things. He could have said, well, this kid's a freshman. He sucks in moments. So we need to give him some room and time to grow. Rather than saying, yeah, right.
The missteps were bountiful. We could sit here now and reflect on that and think back. And I have some. People don't want to hear it over and over again. But I thought of the conversations I've had. I thought of off the record and on the record quotes that I can recall that make little to no sense.
With the benefit
of hindsight,
yeah.
looking back, going, "What? Why would you say that's nuts?" Oh, timing of those comments. There were a lot of things going on in that man's life that affected his day-to-day psyche and led to ridiculous decisions, comments that made very little sense.
Public comments.
Yeah, I just, again, you're right. And it's crazy to think now here we sit geeked up for Virginia Tech, and I'm not predicting a disaster or a calamity of errors like we had a year ago. Of course not. We're all excited and for a good reason. And by the way, there have been no public missteps so far from Willie, which has only furthered sort of the engendered response we see now collectively from this fan base, which is that of euphoria. Can't wait to watch everybody play.
I wonder how much money they made off the booster tour this year. I know it's not done. They still got to do the southeast part of the state.
He's good at them.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll never release the numbers, but even if they could just give us a ratio or a percentage that they've increased revenue, I wonder how much he's, turning over. If you measured from the night that you held the event to 2 weeks after. So people go home, they think about it, and then they decide to cut a check or they don't. I'll bet he's done a lot of work in that department because season ticket sales are a pretty good indicator too. And by all accounts, it's not just the schedule that has people coming here, it's belief.
Well, I don't. It's funny to me because I get asked a lot, especially now. People are clamoring for content, fodder for radio shows all around the country. And me and anybody else who covers this team are oftentimes asked to go on those shows. And I usually use those shows as a measuring stick to kind of feel out where people's heads are at regarding our program and what people think or expect of what's going to happen for Florida State. Expectations are very low. Enthusiasm very high for Willie Taggart because he is good with the press and he has been a PR boon. But I think amongst our own fans, I think amongst the fan base here at Florida State, you just have such a wide array as to what people think would be or label a successful season. And that interests me because that hasn't waned. I'm noting that I talked to my dad and he's a pretty level-headed cat. I have to talk him down every now and then or boost him up every now and then, but by and large he's pretty level-headed, pragmatic, if you will. And I'll say, what do you think? And he'll go, 9-10 wins for sure. And I'll go, for sure, huh? He goes, yeah, you don't think we're going to win 10 games? Yeah. No, I don't think we're going to win 10 games. No, I don't. Who are we losing to? I'll go, well, Tom and I just had this debate. There are a lot of losable games on that schedule. But it's year one, brand new coaching staff, brand new systems being put into place. You're not sure who your starting quarterback is. You're behind a suspect offensive line. There's just a lot of question marks. It doesn't mean I think we're going to be an unmitigated disaster, but I don't think it's reasonable to think that, that it's more likely we're going to win 10 games than, say, 9 or 8.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny that if you put the percentages, like you have a pie chart of where your mind is at between total wins that you have in the regular season.
More likely.
I think 9 was in the beginning of the offseason, the big chunk of the pie, right?
It's gone up because of the enthusiasm centered around Willie's tour stops and also because Virginia Tech has had some offseason issues.
That's true, but I believe that it's been inverse for you. Just listening to the way you're describing your expectations for this team over the last couple of months, I think it's gone from 9 wins having the big lion's share to now 8 wins probably being the biggest share. If you were to project where you put percentages on likelihoods of our 12-game regular season record.
I just think so much depends on what I see from these two quarterbacks when camp starts. I really don't know what to think about who's going to win that job, where DeAndre Francois is at from a health standpoint, what he can be as a leader. James Blackman, I think I know what to expect there. He's probably been working very, very hard, and I think certainly he's good enough to win you your fair share of games. Virginia Tech being a bit of a mess right now is affecting the way that I think that the win total should look. I think 3 weeks ago, I put that as a 55-45 percentage chance that Florida State wins that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of close to even, just a little above even because we're at home at night. I thought we'd be all right. But I was unsure. Now I feel that's more like 70-30, 75-25. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because the talking point is that even if Jackson comes back, he might be suspended for a game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be that he plays. Maybe he does. Maybe he's ready to go for camp.
But they've been decimated. I mean, you have an injury and you have an academic casualty on that
Right,
defense. So
on
you have
defense.
a secondary that's going to be completely green regardless.
Right.
So
But then you have Bud Foster. I mean, there's a lot to deal with. And then with us, we're all a bunch of variables. Everything's a variable.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The games that you know, I don't know that you would think you're expected to win. So you're going to lose. How about this? The stretch of Clemson, NC State, Notre Dame. Let's just go there. That stretch, those 3 games.
Yeah, I expect to win 1. I'd be thrilled with 2.
Right, so you expect to win 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to win. I mean, come on.
No. I expect to win 1 too.
Yeah.
I'm saying I thought you might say I expect to win 2. That's where the fan base differs right now. Is the debate as to what is possible during that stretch of games.
No, it's Clemson. Then you got back-to-back roadies. I mean, if NC State was at home, maybe you could put that at 1.5 at the over/under. But I think it's squarely at 1 because you got to play. I mean, you have the emotionally charged
If
game.
you put it at 1.5 for those 3 games, you take the under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you move it up somewhere closer if you have 2 home games there. But the problem is that if you beat Virginia Tech and you don't lose to both Louisville and Miami, that means the Clemson game will be for the lead in the Atlantic Division. And it's a rivalry game, and we're sick and tired of them, and it's here, it's at night, it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. So you're telling me that we're going to get back on the train the next week if we lose that game? Just worst case scenario. We lose that game, then we got back-to-back roadies. We're going to be up for both of those games. That's an awful lot to ask.
As we go to break, turn your radio down if you do not want to know how some of the big names fared today already in the clubhouse. A couple that are still out on the course at Shinnecock for the U.S. Open. For those that do want to hear it, here you go. This is how brutal that course played today. Just listen to these names. Rory McIlroy is tied for 144th in the field. 156 players. Means he's behind some amateurs. He was plus 10 on the day. Jason Day drives it as straight as anybody on the field and is a putt-and Jesse.
Number 1 in the world entering this week, yeah.
He's tied for 137th, plus 9 on his afternoon. Jordan Spieth, at one time the world's best player, and a lock, according to Scott Van Pelt, to be something akin to Tiger Woods, shot a plus 8. He's tied for 130th in the field currently. Phil Mickelson is Phil Mickelson, a World Golf Hall of Famer, plus 7 on his afternoon, is tied for 123rd. Tied with, at 123rd, Bubba Watson, plus 7 for Bubba Watson today as well. Those still on the course? Well, I'll give you another big name already done. Ricky Fowler, not bad. I'm going to say that might be a palatable result for Ricky Fowler when this day's over with, as he went plus 3.
Another big name, Justin Rose, plus 1. Very good day.
Who I think is going to be there on Sunday. Justin Rose's game is as complete as anybody's in the world, if not more so. He's probably more consistent than anybody else right now.
And has been for how long? A month, 6 weeks?
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And I can report, having met the man at Augusta National there, Tom, a really nice guy. He won me over big time. I watched, not only did I get a chance to meet him, which I'll always be thankful for, but I got to watch him interact with people. That's a good freaking dude. You know how when you watch people when they don't know you're watching and you can see how a guy really is? Super nice guy. So if that does happen, good for him. Anyhow, he's a plus 1. Ricky Fowler, plus 3, as I said. Guys still on the course. Dustin Johnson's 1 under through 4. Doing all right now. And he, too, is right there with Justin Rose, as you would say. He's the world's number 1 player right now, but I think from a consistency standpoint, I'd go with Rose. From a talent standpoint, it's clearly Dustin Johnson. And then finally, Justin Thomas, or final 2, Justin Thomas is plus 1 through 4 right now, playing pretty well. And Tiger Woods, who triple bogeyed number 1, I would think you'd argue right now is playing okay, given that fact. What is he, just plus 4 through 4?
There's a lot going on with Tiger right now.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so he birdied his previous hole, the par 5, which is the easiest hole on the golf course. So he's at 3, but now they're looking for his golf ball in the fescue.
Well, not going to be that way for very long. Struggling.
Forgive me, they're looking for Dustin's ball. I saw Tiger, but Tiger's trying to help.
Didn't want to hear that.
Tiger, don't hunch over. You're going to hurt your back.
Tiger, find Dustin's ball. It's very important to me that you find Dustin's ball, please.
Why would that be?
Find Dustin's ball. Everybody at Shinnecock, please, let's all pitch in and find Dustin's ball.
We have audio of Jeff when Dustin's ball is found and he does not have to re-hit.
Thank you. It's important. Let's all get on the search party there. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
He was at times the #1 dealer in the entire Atlanta region. I repeat, up against every dealer in Atlanta, South Georgia, and North Florida, Kraft Nissan led the pack. What did we do? At Nissan, we offered Kraft Nissan special pricing and allocations, and Kraft Nissan did not disappoint. So we are continuing the Kraft experiment. We sent a special allocation of Altimas to Kraft and offered incentives not available anywhere else in the USA. See the dealer for complete details on the many saving metrics available, such as $4,500 cash back on Altimas or $3,000 on Rogue. Coupling this cash back with prices never before seen should make for another robust month at our top dealership. Kraft Nissan is once again saying thank you with an option of 0% interest for 60 months on every single new Nissan on the lot. Take it from Nissan, this is not a gimmick. Kraft Nissan can put you into a new Nissan. Unmatched prices and discounts. A limited time offer. Only at Kraft Nissan, Tallahassee.
For better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine, change your vehicle's oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. For good times and family fun, Tallahassee heads to the Fun Station. And right now, when you change your oil at Superlube, you'll get a $15 Fun Station gift card. You don't need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area Superlubes, there's probably one right around the corner right now.
How I love to Superlube my car, yes sir!
Milwaukee and Cornerstone are nothing but heavy duty. M18 deals are back again. When you buy one select Bear tool, you'll receive a free XC 5 amp hour battery. Ask store for details. Buy an M18 fuel string trimmer kit for $2.99 and receive a free M18 blower or M18 fuel hedge trimmer. Purchase an M18 fuel 2-tool combo kit and receive a free M18 fuel sawzall. Check store for other promotions. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Now you can get a great-looking cut in less time every time with an Exmark. The Mowers Landscape Pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand of mowers. When you buy your Exmark mower from Southern Harvest Equipment, you are guaranteed a great price. Nobody sells Exmark mowers for less, and currently select commercial mowers are 15% off commercial sales price while supplies last. You can also receive 0% financing. Find the Exmark that's right for you at Southern Harvest Equipment, located at 408 Wiggum Dairy Road in Bainbridge, Georgia. Exmark, ready to work for you.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Very often, my body language will go straight to hell because we and this show have done something that was pretty stupid. Like, for example, the pregame show. Sometimes it can be really frustrating when they tell you during the pregame show, hey, Stugotz, Dan's microphone isn't on. Don't talk to him. And then you start the pregame show and your first sentence, they told you right before we started, as I'm sure Ty Lue told J.R. Smith that the score was tied. And still, J.R. Smith's gonna J.R. Smith. And Stugotz is gonna Stugotz. And did you see the J.R. Smith quote after the game? Totally confused, changing his story. And then at the end, this is what he says. It's hard playing with LeBron. Not everyone can handle it, but, it's a great pleasure. But he gets the pleasure of playing with me, too. And that's Stugotz. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Stugotz J.R. Smith?
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Report they found Dustin Johnson's ball. That's of critical importance to the round. For me. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Moreover, they didn't just find his golf ball.
Oh, yeah, they let him drop and everything. I was pleased. I am pleased. He is now taking 6 out of the equation. We'll just take our bogey and move on at even par, sir. And there you go, Big River.
He's actually got to look at par.
Does he really?
Yes.
All right, Dustin. And way to go, Gallery. Or whoever it was that found and stepped on that ball.
And stepped on the ball.
Stepped right on it.
Gets
altering the lie. Got to drop, Tom. Those are the rules. What do you want me to do?
When the camera leaves, Dustin slips him a couple $100 and says, there you go, pal.
Stomp on that ball.
Listen, guys, if anybody sees it, step on it. Just step on the ball.
Stomp on it. Stomp all over it. And then say, hey, I stepped on something loudly. Say it again.
Yeah, it's golf tradition. You have to stomp on the ball and say, I found it.
It's right here. Cover up the top flight. Cover it up. Just turn it over.
Trying to win a major around here.
What do we remember when they screwed me?
Yeah.
I had people in their lawn chairs out here in a picnic in the sand. I put my club down and screw me.
Take matters into your own hands, people.
That's the lesson I learned right there. I will say that. Have you ever done this? Have you ever hit a ball wayward at a club you play at a lot? Like you and I play at Killarn a lot. And then you look for the ball over and over. You can't find it. You take your penalty. You go ahead and you play. And then like 2 weeks later, you're somewhere in the similar area because your misses are your misses. And you go, there's my damn ball. And you know it's yours. I've had that happen.
I've done it where I've put a ball in play and then I find it.
But I mean, like 2 weeks later, I have found a ball that I have marked with like 2 red dots that it's definitely my ball. And then I'll go, oh, there it is. It's right there. It was there all along. I took a double on that hole, and it was right there. Damn it, man.
So nobody else is playing the course, huh?
No, people are still playing the course. They just didn't miss as badly as I did. and then I found it.
I've also had a few occasions where I missed so badly that it ended up on an adjacent hole going the other way.
Yeah,
and then later in the round, I'm like, oh, well, son of a, can I, retroactively take a stroke off of my score, please? Can we discount this thing?
It's golf is brutal. At Jay Cameron Show, what result of the Virginia Tech game would make you say, okay, Willie Taggart, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you? Wow, Ryan. I don't usually go to the 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you until I have some real concerns about your aptitude or your acumen or your ability to lead or organize or whatever it is you're tasked with doing.
Yeah, what's the over-under margin of victory, I guess? Where you go, ooh, well.
Okay. So first of all, let's start with. Okay, actually, that's a good question, Ryan. Let's just. It's an off-season question, but we are in the off-season, so here you go. Would there be a result of one game, albeit the official debut of Willie Taggart as a Nole, that would have you concerned moving forward about the job he could or could not do? Could there be a result?
Yes.
Like if Virginia Tech beat Florida State 63-0, would we all go, well, I don't know that you can come back from that? Like, would we be done with you after one game? That's actually a fun question. Is there a result, any result, barring something asinine that doesn't really make any sense? Somebody scores 100 points or something. But, like, if you got beat at home on a Monday night with the nation watching, 49-0, 2 first downs, just boat raced, would we as a fan base go, I don't think this is going to work out?
Well, as you are fond of saying, losses happen for a reason.
That's right.
And so
And they
what does the
affect
coaching
you.
staff look like on the sideline as those things are happening? What kind of communication level is there between the players on the field and the coaching staff or amongst themselves? What kind of body language is there? I mean, you're not going to have good body language if you lose 56-0 or 49-0, excuse me. I'm giving them 7 more points. For me, it was 56-3. That was the
for
some
number?
reason that's the specific result. And you start the game going down the field, 6
You're
plays.
more devastated by not being shut out? My shutout would have devastated me since he's an offensive mind.
No, because you go down the field, 5 plays, 60 yards, and you have to settle for a field goal. You're up 3-0, and then they score the next 56.
56 unanswered hurt
There
your
it is.
feelings, right?
Mhm.
Well, I dare say neither of us think anything close to that is going to happen.
They're going to win.
But I do know this. When you are making a debut, we get back to the first impressions conversation. It's not always true that first impressions mean everything, but they do have a bigger impact than, a casual, meet 4 or 5 times down the road. It's the first time you meet somebody. So the first time we watch him coach a Florida State game, we are going to be looking at a lot of things, and we're going to be overanalyzing a lot of things, I'm sure, just the nature of what we do as people and certainly in this business. I don't want that to cloud what I think is possible. If they win the game 56-0, I don't want to come in here on that Tuesday and go, this team could win the national championship, people. And if they lose the game 56-0, I'm giving extremes for a reason because it's the nature of Ryan's question. I don't want to come in here and say, well, this ain't going to work. But I do know that there are people who have gotten high-profile jobs and had their first moment in the sun turn out disastrously, and it affect the way that the university, the athletic department, and the fan base felt about them moving forward forevermore. That is to say, all margin for error is then removed for a guy that loses a game like that of that magnitude to that degree. The first time you have questions about them again, it's informed by that game. So there's no, you got it. You can lose. You just can't lose crazily.
Let me ask you something more reasonable. How about 35-10? You have 6 or 7 3-and-outs.
I can live with all that.
And Virginia Tech has the ball for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's not good, but we'll be critical. We'd come on the air and say that's not what you do, and that's a wake up call, But I wouldn't. No, I'm not washing my hands at the guy. No, I would think. Again, week 1 is so tough, man. First game against Bud Foster's defense, new system. Everything about a game is different than a practice. So the speed in which you're making decisions, the things that you're trying to factor in, the players' emotion and adrenaline, all of that, things can get away from you. Things can go south in a hurry, or, you can pass that test with flying colors, and then adjustments are made by your opponents who haven't seen you on tape yet. Now they have something to go on, and week by week things get a little bit more difficult because now they know what they're looking at. So whether it goes exceedingly well or egregiously poor, I don't know that I'm going to really walk away with any 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you moments, really. It would take something absurd.
I know the Facebook method of asking questions for headliners is for them, not for me. But I'd like a question posed to Ira. Maybe it could be for next Monday when he comes on. Is he nervous? Because it's never been more important for Ira to have his sideline watching down. There's a lot to learn now, and he's got a reputation, so people want to hear. How about the sideline watching, Ira? What are you seeing? Because he could pick 2 or 3 different ways to go, but it's going to be about Taggart, I would think, in the beginning.
Well, we should both be nervous then, because as famous as he is for sideline watching, and he is, you're right to note that, I am about first press conferences of the year. Remember?
And judging what he actually thinks of the team.
What he actually thinks, right. And I had a handle on Jimbo. I nailed Jimbo from the beginning about where he was with any given team. whether he thought they were really good, long way to go, hiding something.
Until he got crazy at the end. Remember, I mean, he was talking about teams the last couple of years. Oh, this is like something I remember back from, 13, 14, the way this team was, how in summer workouts, everybody was accountable to each other. I mean, those are just bold-faced lies.
Yeah, well, we couldn't have known he'd gone off the deep end.
Right. You're assuming, yes, so lucid Jimbo, right?
Yeah, when he was on top of things, I knew the apology without the apology with EJ. I knew some of the things that went on there where I'd say, he doesn't love this team, or he really likes this team. And ACC meetings helped that too. Because
the notes in 2014, I had to go back, check my notes.
I didn't. When he said that, I was like, this is not good.
Why would you check your notes with an all-time team?
That team was that was weird.
You should be writing notes that'll be made into memoirs.
Well, he also would do things in which he'd say, like he was talking about attitude of domination, and then it was stop and smell the roses. So you had a radical shift in what he was telling the team to do and what he thought was possible, and anybody could read into that. But Willie will be tougher because he's even keel. He doesn't talk with a ton of emotion about really anything football related. It's just very, very even keel. But I'm going to talk to him a lot, I think. I say a lot. I'm going to talk to him at the ACC kickoff next month. I'll have him on the show here. I'll have him on the SiriusXM show. So my guess is I'm going to get a chance to talk to him 3, maybe 4 times, probably 4 to 5 times before the start of the season.
Right.
I'd like to think I could get a good read.
Well, we saw him take one of the first tough questions he's taken when he's down in Sarasota, and the question was about Josh Ball. Were you surprised? And, given that he was working so much with the team in the spring, was that something where you had a lack of numbers, or what was the reason? I believe Aslan from Wake Up War Chant asked the question. And he took a moment, and then he responded, yeah, we were surprised. And then he moved on and said, but, hopefully you have a lot of guys and somebody else can be one who steps up in that moment. But he was able to handle it in a way that I think you'll find interesting and you'll be able to use and probably crack the code.
I'll say this. I think it's important, and I appreciate that we do have a coach who will take the time to listen to the question, recognize this answer is important. Let the moment linger, because that's awkward. There's silence in the air, and people get uncomfortable with silence. More and more, that's true. And
typically, the reporter then will tack on an out for you in a question. They won't just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Say, or was it because they don't want?
Yeah, they don't want to put you. They don't want to pin you down.
Right.
And
even if it's a fair question
completely
to do
fair.
so. Yeah.
And how you handle that moment's important. And I do think at least recognizing that. Take my time on this one because it's kind of an important answer and this is an important topic, so I'm going to take I like that he does that. I've liked that from day one, which he has done since he got here, which is to stop and consider the question and then go from there, or ask for clarification even if he's not sure what you're getting at.
That's what Jimbo would do indiscriminately towards the end. If he either didn't like the person or he knew where the questioning was going, he'd just in the middle of it go, huh? Well, I'm sorry. I couldn't understand you. Like as he was gathering his answer that he had prepared, and he was stalling. But he used to do that, and damn well he could hear the beginning of the question.
Oh well, no, I would start chuckling because I knew exactly where that was going. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Can you start that over? I couldn't hear it.
Meanwhile, his brain's going. What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? What do I say?
What is answer E17?
What do I do here?
I can see the cards. What did it say?
Run. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and all Mountain Dew 20-ounce products are just 99 cents today at RCD Shell. Flavors like regular Dew, Dew Ice, Baja Blast, plus all flavors of Kickstar are 99 cents every day. So do the Dew and keep going strong with these great Dew products. All just 99 cents at RCD Shell.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he wants it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out your truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're number one by far. Bed liners, bed caps, toys to throw your money at. Car stereo, car alarms, things for all you soccer moms. Detail and diamond plate, parts to fix your tailgate. Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out your truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're number one by far. Exterior accessories, lift kits for your mud needs. Mud tires, nice wheels, everyone will get a deal. Window tinting, that's a must. Come on out and visit us. Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop, we always aim to please. Truck and Car Concepts, everything is here from A to Z.
Edwin Watts Golf Shops knows what gives dads and grads really want. New golf gear. Right now, save $50 on select Bushnell products. And when you trade your old clubs, get a 50% bonus trade-in towards a new TaylorMade club purchase. Or how about Callaway Trubis golf balls with stars and stripes for just $44.99. And while you're there, enter to win a limited edition Callaway golf bag. Hard to shop for dad or grad? How about a gift card? Shop Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Come into Lowe's for savings on the kind of Father's Day gifts that make Dad feel special. Power tools. Choose a Porter Cable 20-volt max lithium-ion combo kit, complete with drill, impact driver, 2 batteries, and charger. Or get the long runtime of a DeWalt 20-volt cordless drill with brushless motor. Either way, they're only $99. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 6/20 while supplies last. See store for details.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
time wanting but not really knowing. We took the
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Zach writes, FSU soccer has one of the best women's soccer players on the planet. And I hope they play really well this fall because she is like Warren. It's that Dana Castellanos, right? She deserves to be seen. You know, this is piggybacking off. I'm assuming he's listening to Seminole Headlines from yesterday. We were talking about the uptick in support for softball, and it will be interesting to see if that translates next season.
Well, and how soccer gets cannibalized by football season. Even though it has a local following, it doesn't have the exposure across the Knoll Nation the way softball did. Really, any Knoll across the country fell in love with it.
Yeah, and it will be fascinating to watch that. The soccer program has been so good for so long. They are they too have won a national championship. There is a loyal support group for that soccer program in this community, as it should be. They've been consistently awesome for some time, and they are a joy to watch. But they do unfortunately get overshadowed by the other sports that are going on at the time, fall sports. And she is a star. You're not wrong, Zach. So it will be interesting to see. I'm curious about the softball. We were debating that. Do you get, because you lose Jessie Warren, and she is a rock star, without question, but they get the vast majority of that team back. They're going to be really good again, elite again, top 10 ranked again. Expectations will be, again, very high. Do people take the run that just occurred and the excitement, enthusiasm, the falling in love with a program and a game again to another level by actually attending regular season games?
I don't know, but I think it's worth trying to charge $5 a ticket.
Yeah, they don't charge anything now.
Right. It may be worth trying to charge just $5. I mean,
about $3?
Can we do that? Now, if you're a softball player, you wear a uniform, you're free. You're in for free. So you're growing the game. But if you want to support the program, come on, man, $5.
And Lonnie's big on that. You can tell by her talking points when Florida State won. She talked about how happy she was to see the growth of the sport and the amount of people watching the sport. And I think that certainly came across as authentic. She really was excited for the sport of softball, that team happened to be hers and that it captured the imagination of a lot of people that were outside the normal range of softball fans, the inner circle of softball fans. That's all well and good, but she was happy, too, that the sport was being seen in a new light. And I think she should be, because I think that, in truth, did happen. The guys I talked to who would never watch softball, and that's the vast majority of guys that I know, enjoyed it and thought it looked a lot different than they remember it being, and they were inclined to watch some more.
Yeah, like bare minimum, once we get to regional play and super regional play, people are going to start finding it rather than happening by it. They're going to go look for it.
And they'll also be checking along the way. Are we good again this year? Oh, we are. All right. Keep it up. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
And Nissan Town, a Kraft Nissan Town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, the best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best value for your dollar. With more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our easy choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our new For You program that helps people with damaged credit. And now, to the end of the month, 2 years or 20,000 miles of complimentary maintenance with every new car purchase, plus $1,000 over book value for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They will greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they will know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute, brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Wednesday afternoon at SunTrust Park, the Braves blanked the Mets by a score of 2-0, earning their fourth series sweep of 2018. The game would remain scoreless into the bottom of the fourth when Dansby Swanson reached on a one-out double and scored on a Freddie Freeman RBI single. Meanwhile, Mike Soroka carried a no-hitter into the top of the seventh before Michael Conforto led the inning off with an infield single. Soroka allowed just one hit and one walk over 6 1/3 scoreless innings, earning his second big league win. The Atlanta offense added some insurance in the bottom of the eighth as Freddie Freeman homered to right for his third consecutive game, the longest stretch of his career. Afterwards, he said he knew runs would be at a premium against a guy like Jacob deGrom.
I think he's one of at least top 2, top 3 pitchers in this whole entire game. When we had our advanced meeting this morning, it's almost like you just say good luck and hopefully you hit one of them.
Braves now turn their attention to the visiting Padres, who come to town for a 4-game series. Anibal Sanchez gets the nod for Atlanta tonight, while San Diego counters with Tyson Ross. Hear the call right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Oh, what's going on in there? A mistake?
No, it's something you'll like. Very much so. I was lamenting Fox's camera work. They've gotten pretty good about this thing, the U.S. Open.
Yeah, they're not terrible like they used to be.
So there's a shot of Dustin Johnson greenside on the 8th hole.
Right.
Hitting his third shot. And it's a low angle shot. The camera shot, that is. So Dustin hits out of the bunker and he jars it. So he's now tied for,
Yeah, he's at -2, right?
Sorry. Yeah, he's at -2, which is tied for the lead currently.
Yeah.
And I know you'd like that, but I was
am
lamenting.
happy about that, yeah.
Nobody saw it on TV. You just saw him, do a fist pump after he hit the shot. So
they screwed that up.
Right. It was just Dustin hits
Now
out of
what
sand.
you do.
Dustin goes bam like that, and we got to discern that means one thing.
Huh. Well, that's rather frustrating. I will say that that by and large, the camera work there, it's interesting, the layout at Shinnecock Hills. You get a lot of bird's eye views. Fox is really big into that.
Yeah, they are. The panoramic shots.
Yeah, they love to give you the big panoramic shots. But, every time I see it, I think that course looks really hard.
Yeah. Oh, man, with the wind. You can just tell it's windy, too.
That wind is brutal.
So they showed the replay. The flag was in the distance. It's like it was one of those panoramic shots. You just have to be able to kind of focus your eyes on the picture itself. It could tighten that up a little bit.
We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always miss anything, go get caught up. All 3 hours to be posted upon the conclusion of the show, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like to, JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show, WTSM app, and on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. Hello, YouTubers. I look at this in the corner. I'm looking at these stories during the break. I like to make sure that I haven't, in my interest in the U.S. Open, I want to make sure I haven't overlooked anything very important to FSU on a given day, central theme, all that stuff. But, one of the things that's happening now is that when I go to all the sites, any site that does anything with either college football or specifically Florida State, in the corner they have the next game, September the 3rd, 8 p.m., Virginia Tech, Florida State. And if it's a site that just covers college football, it's a list of all the first games, including the ones that are kind of isolated as out of conference and, like the Washington-Auburn game, those kinds of things. And I just get downright giddy. It's happening. And it's just too soon. I have to tell myself, you can't get this excited on June the freaking 14th. What are you doing?
No, because that will make July the longest month of your life.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to embrace the other stuff. And I'm a guy that loves baseball, so I typically can, even if my team's not great. I can still do it. I still watch nightly. You're going to be tested in a way you haven't been tested in a while. I'm glad you're going to England, man, because you're going to need that break more than most. You're a hard worker and all of that, so you'll need the vacation, and that's a good thing. But your team is garbage. They're not fun to watch.
No.
It looks like an unmitigated disaster. You're just going to have nothing to save your ass, save for playing golf with me on the mornings, which is going to be fun, and I'll do that, and we'll have a good time. But, boy, you're going to need that vacation.
I'll be playing a lot of golf, yes. Yeah. That's on the weekends.
I think you're going to be locked into the PGA Tour in general.
Yeah, well, I'm holding on tightly to this U.S. Open. I mean, I am.
Oh, we love the U.S. Open. You'll watch the British Open. And
I'll be in England for the Open Championship.
You won't be at the British Open, but you'll be
on the other side of.
It's unfortunate. I'm still bothered.
It's in
by
Scotland.
This.
It's all the way up in Scotland.
Still frustrated, man. Everything's right there.
It's not right there.
It is right there by way of comparison to the United States. I'm not saying
it's impossible to get there.
It's not. I've done it. I'm telling you, maybe for the time while you're there.
Right. The demand for the Open Championship. It's brutal.
Right.
It's like it would be like if Chiefland hosted, the U.S. Open. Like, I mean, really.
Yes, I'm not talking about access to the course and getting a ticket right now because you didn't know you were going to be doing this, and so it's too late in the game. In terms of the physical miles and so forth, it's not hard to get there is what I'm saying.
It's not like America, though, where you can hop on a highway and you just keep driving up and you're there going 80 miles an hour, and 3 hours, here we are.
It's very easy to get all around England. Trust me, it is. It's very easy. And it's amazing how many places you can visit in a very short period. Different countries you can visit in a short period of time. But anyhow.
It would cost another arm and a leg for a trip that's going to be pretty costly.
I'm done beating you over the head about this. That's fine. You're not going to the British Open even while you're over there and it's going on at the same time.
I'm going to watch it with the locals in a pub. That'll be cool.
It won't suck. Won't suck. The pubs over there are as advertised. Fantastic. And because they don't have any moralistic hang up on stupid things like gambling, they're all gambling all the time. And it's beautiful.
Now, judging by what happens for the Open Championship itself, whether it's in England proper or Scotland, the weather's going to be fine in the summer at nighttime, right? It's going to be nice and cool.
Yeah, it's real pleasant, yeah.
Okay. Air conditioning situation. Am I to expect that over there, or do most places not have air conditioning? Because could it get stuffy in a pub, where you need to get out for a little while?
The pubs are comfortable. They got air conditioning in
the
pubs. You're okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I was never uncomfortable in any of the pubs, and I went to lots of them.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah. No, I had plenty of experience. You got to find the cool, out of the way, so when you're in Ireland, for example,
locals pub, right?
Absolutely, the people who live in that neighborhood.
Yeah, because Brighton is a very fanciful place. There's a main drag, and I'm with you.
You don't want to do that. No.
I'm going to find the one that doesn't even have a sign.
That's right. You want a place where you think I could get killed in here. So there's, I do that in general. Look for pubs that I think this is dicey. Remember you and I went into the IRA pub there in Boston?
Oh.
That was a shaky place.
That was. Well, the IRA pub kind of was next door, the nice place.
Yeah, the IRA pub
There's
was
an IRA guy in the bathroom who was wasted after the Patriots won.
The other pub was the one where you're like, good God, they didn't it was cash only.
Yeah, it was the official Bruins pub.
Of course it was cash only.
It was cash only.
By the way, that's a number one indicator. This is a sports show, so we'll keep it to sports in this way. It's not completely a sports show, but if you are in a big city,
you should stick to sports.
You think so? If you are in a big city and you want to go take in a game and you're looking at, the commercial bars and then you're looking at the local bars and then you're looking at the other bars, I like to go to the bars where it's a little suspect. I like to go places that would put you a little on edge.
They got character.
A little something to them. They've been around a while, right? And people know each other at those places. Mm-hmm. And I like to watch that dynamic play out because that guy who just came through the door, he's been coming through that door for a long time.
Right.
And everybody knows him.
But if you're 5'4", 130 and you got no chance, you maybe steer away from that. You could, if anything happens, you can get out of there, no problem.
Right. What I'm saying is when I go into those places, I like that. I like that feel. I like a little bit of uneasiness. But it's not always, but sometimes. But
when you walk in, you feel some things have gone down in here.
Yeah, some things have happened here.
Yeah.
But here's the whole deal. You're in a place you probably shouldn't be for too long, especially as voices start to get elevated. And that is, if they accept cash only, you got to go. You get your beer, you pay your cash, and you get the hell out.
Right, we went for one Guinness.
That's right, one.
And the bartender he understood,
He knew the deal, and he liked that we were willing to walk in there. He thought, well, these guys, all right, they're not from around here.
No, but there was just something, and it's almost as though it had its own pull to it. But at the very, very end of this establishment, and it's one of those where it's got a wide or a narrow corridor when you walk in for the first 15 feet of the bar.
A little unsettling.
And then after that, it expands out to the right for the pool table, and then they had the cash machine.
Also, it should be noted there were two TVs by where we were. Neither were in HD.
Correct. That's always
hilarious.
a sign.
Yeah,
that's a sign.
Yeah, we're not even upgrading the TVs around here, huh?
And then the bathrooms, I didn't even look in there. I'm sure that there's, blood stains everywhere. but it was the open door to the alley, the back door of the entire. I mean, you could see the whole way through the bar when you open the front door. It's this long corridor, and at the very back, there's an open door to the alley. And I'm just thinking of all of the seedy things that have happened outside that door, probably during regular business hours. It's just you felt uneasy about that alley door and what's going on out there.
If we've established something here beyond the fact that it's a cash-only place, A, B, they have not upgraded to HD televisions.
For Patriots games that were just on.
Right. So those are two. That's a big one, too. But the kicker is what you just said. If these three things are in play, you get your one beer, you take it in, and you move on down the road. A, cash only. That's first and foremost. B, no HD televisions. We're dealing with 1977 glass tube, baby. Those TVs weigh 800 pounds. They're eventually going to fall and kill the bartender.
And they're the official Bruins bar.
Yeah. And then C, the back door is open to an alley at all times.
Yeah.
Like it needs to stay open for reasons that we don't want to ask about. Oh, you got a D? You got a D?
Yeah.
All right.
I've got a number 4, yes.
Well, okay, so it's a D, yeah.
And it was what the bartender asked you because you bought the round in there.
That's right.
Right. And he said, you guys going to be sticking around or just one? You go, no, just this one beer. You go, and he nodded like, okay.
He was
like, he was like, yep.
He liked it. He knew.
He was like, that's a good answer. That's
like,
the right answer.
That's this guy here. But I think he appreciated it. He would have let me push the envelope to have a second beer.
Right, but he's good.
Yeah.
It was almost like that's a good idea. Good choice.
Good choice. Yeah. You're all right, guy. I think you've been into a bar. You figured it out. You got it. Yeah. No, I can walk into a bar.
Got the guy with the newspaper down on the other side. That guy was,
Dude was reading a newspaper again. It's 2018, people. My man's in the corner reading a newspaper. Because of course
if he had a transistor radio, that would have been the end of it.
I would have never left. They'd have never got me out of there.
I would have left immediately.
No, I would have been like, we got to stay. Just let's press it. Let's see what happens. Let's let it get a little weird. Let's
sit over by the pool tables.
Ask for some chips or something. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
What do you do to save energy?
With the warmer temperature, I know my AC is working overtime, so I make sure to replace my AC filter once a month.
Excellent suggestion. Next caller, you're on the air.
Well, the city of Tallahassee recommends that I take advantage of their grants and loans to get more installation in my attic. That's really going to keep my cooling costs down.
These are some great suggestions. There are lots of ways to save. Caller, you're on the air.
I reduce energy for water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
Come into Lowe's for savings on the kind of Father's Day gifts that make Dad feel special. Power tools. Choose a Porter Cable 20-volt max lithium-ion combo kit, complete with drill, impact driver, 2 batteries, and charger. Or get the long run time of a DeWalt 20-volt cordless drill with brushless motor. Either way, they're only $99. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 6/20 while supplies last. See store for details.
Bob Sullivan founded Bob's Auto and Collision Center with the goal of providing honest repair estimates, fair pricing, and fast service. 35 years later, he's done just that and has made Bob's Auto #1 with FSU students and Tallahassee. His daughters, Misty and Melissa, have now taken the wheel and are still providing the best car care and collision service in town. Coming soon, Bob's Auto and Collision Center is moving to Lake Bradford Road. Stay tuned for details.
When you place a document in someone's hand, it should reach more than their head. It needs to reach their heart with compelling visuals and dramatic presentations, right down to the paper it's printed on. Rapid Press reaches the hearts of thousands of people every day with commercial printing and mailing services. Rapid Press commercial printers since 1983.
Reach for Rapid Press. You'll find them online at rapidpress.com or call 893-7346. 893-7346.
We're up before the sun, checking cattle and fixing fences, moving bales, skipping breakfast. There's no such thing as a holiday. No days off. Hours are spent in the saddle, and nights are spent planning for tomorrow's workload. We get the job done no matter the weather. We are the farmers and the ranchers. We feed the world. Boot Barn in Falls Chase Village Center next to Bass Pro Shop.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Man. So you don't really go in the ocean, do you?
Not often. I mean, I'm hardly ever at the beach in
You
the
were
first
just
place.
at the beach, which was nice, but you like to look at it from a distance, I know, right? You're not a big swimmer in the ocean.
No, I prefer the ocean over the Gulf. I'll say that.
Okay.
Because the Gulf is kind of like bath water.
It's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go at the right time. Well, for people who've listened to this show for years, they know they think I'm afraid of everything in nature. No, I respect nature, knowing what nature is, knowing that it's out to kill you if you're in the wrong place, wrong time. I get all that. I got no problem with that. You just got to know where you're at. Now, I'm not, swimming 100 yards out, but I'm also not afraid to get into the ocean. I take my kids out there. We bodyboard and do all that stuff and have a good time. I like the ocean. I like what it does for my skin. I like the way it feels when you get out of the ocean, man. You clear your sinuses and all that. That's good. I'm not swimming at dawn, and I'm not swimming at night. Middle of the afternoon, about 10 yards out. That's about as far as we're going here.
Boy, there was some night swimming when I was there at Madeira.
What?
Oh, my God.
People out there swimming in the dead of night?
I had the window open because you want the ambient noise, right?
Yeah.
Of the waves crashing. There's nothing better.
No, that's great.
4:30 in the morning, some kids out there, teenagers.
Swimming?
Oh, yeah.
Asking, did they see
Jaws?
Jaws?
They were gallivanting, sir.
Did they see Jaws? That's exactly what happens. They go skinny dipping. Well, the guy passes out drunk. Lucky for him. She goes skinny dipping. Good night, Irene. Always thought about that opening to Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
So they're out there, is
that how it starts?
Yeah. So it starts with a couple, right? A man and a woman, clearly inebriated, having a good time, racing out onto the beach. My man's thinking he's going to score, because that's what you're thinking when you're drunk on the beach with a woman in the dead of night, typically, especially frolicking about as they were.
I wonder if she plays spades.
I'd like to have a deep conversation with her about the nature of being. No, so they were running out there, and so they start to take off their clothes, and she's like, "Let's go swimming." Now, right off the bat, I would have been like, "Whoa! What is all this swimming? What do you? Is it the dead of night? Sharks feed at the dead of night. Are you crazy? I'm saving your life. You need to sit here right by me." That said, too, it would have been incredibly disappointing to hear that she wanted to go swimming. She dragged your ass out there to go swimming.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Friend zone stuff right there.
Somewhere
unless
along
it's,
the way,
dipping of some kind. Yeah.
he misplayed his hand, clearly. And I always thought that, too. Even at a young age, before I knew anything about that, I thought, you screwed up, sir. You thought something very different was about to happen when you went out there on that beach.
Unless it's dipping. Now, if it's swimming, straight swimming, you're not getting anywhere.
I'm not talking about putting my feet in the damn ocean. She's on a dead swim.
Skinny dipping. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, but in a pool. not the ocean. I'm not butt naked in the ocean in the dead of night.
What's the difference at that point? It's either way, a shark's not going to notice that layer.
No, but the difference is there's no shark in a pool. There are sharks in the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm not going in the ocean, period.
Right.
At night, and I'm not naked either because they're jellyfish, and I'm about to go. I'm not doing that.
Little
man.
stingray action.
Yeah, no. Woo. No, goodness gracious. Anyhow, I say all that to say this. That scene always made me laugh because I thought, oh, dude, exactly. You got friend zoned. That's right. Take a nap, son. Ain't nothing going to happen. She goes swimming. He passes out because he can't get his, if I recall, he can't get his shoe off because he's hammered. And so he just lays down and is like,
the hell with it.
We've all been there. Usually falling back in our own bed. Like, wake up. What? This is ridiculous.
Many people have been there.
Many people have been there,
Yeah.
right? So she goes swimming out, way out. She's swimming way out by the buoy, which is ridiculous. We've all been to the beach. The buoys aren't close to the shore.
No,
They're
sir.
a ways out there. You can see them, and you think, I'd never swim to that. Not her. Her drunk ass goes swimming out there, and yes, imagine that. Boom, gets hit by a shark. Big one, great white, tugs her leg first just to let her know he's there. That's not good. That's worse. That's cruel and unusual. It's also drama. It's a movie. I got you, Spielberg. But she then tries to try to get over it, and it's not going to happen. So she dies. I thought of that, and then I thought of this. 600 people were treated for jellyfish stings over this past weekend, according to a story I read this morning here in Florida. Central Florida beaches drew huge crowds. You were at one. Lifeguards treated 107 people for stings on Saturday, and then quadruple that number on Sunday, 523 injuries, according to the AP.
Yikes.
An additional 180 people were treated for stings by moon jellyfish, bringing the grand total to 810. So be careful out there if you're going to the beach. The jellyfish are out, and they are stinging your ass. Now, I grew up having jellyfish wars. My brother and I would jump into the Gulf, and we would grab jellyfish by our bare hands and sling them at each other's faces for hours at a time. They were these little small jellyfish.
Yeah.
And they had little mild stings. They looked like blobs, just like little blobs. They
pick
were
'em
nothing.
up?
Oh, we'd grab them.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, no, it didn't hurt. We would grab them and
jellyfish?
we would fire them at each other all the time. We thought it was the greatest thing ever. And then we'd go skimboarding, if you will, and then somebody would throw a jellyfish off of somebody's back while they were doing it.
Oh.
We were destructive jellyboard slinging fools.
Indeed.
Good times over by Bay Vista. I still remember.
Wasn't too far from where I was.
That's right. You know where Bay Vista is, right?
That side of the county, man.
Yeah,
I'd need you to guide me around it. But
I'll
I can
take
get
you to
through.
Bay Vista, buddy. It's still there.
I get you through Clearwater to Palm Harbor, no problem.
I got you there, too. I know how to get through there. But, a little Bay Vista action. We'd be swinging the jellyfish. Much of that place is gone. When I was a kid, you could walk out, and we'll end this nostalgic moment in a moment. I used to be able to walk out on low tide and go grab a bunch of clams. I don't think you can really do that anymore.
That was around when I was a kid.
Clam digging was fun.
Yeah, we would go to either
it was the most exciting thing to reach
Sand
down in there and feel the clam. And you're like, I got him.
Sand Key was good for that,
Hey,
if I
that's
recall.
a sound clip for the ages right there, buddy. Sorry about that. I'm looking at you go, I just realized what he said.
Right. Usually I'm on top of these things. So
I'm
I'm
surprised-
both disappointed and
I'm really
appalled.
surprised that you didn't go, really? Oh.
When digging, did you?
Good God, man. It's the dead of summer. I apologize. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings. or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Come into Lowe's for savings on the kind of Father's Day gifts that make Dad feel special. Power tools. Choose a Porter Cable 20-volt max lithium-ion combo kit, complete with drill, impact driver, 2 batteries, and charger. Or get the long runtime of a DeWalt 20-volt cordless drill with brushless motor. Either way, they're only $99. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 6/20 while supplies last. See store for details.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
July 9, 1755, near Fort Duquesne, a 23-year-old British officer leads his troops in battle during the French and Indian War. 15 years later, a respected Indian chief sat over a council fire with this same man. As he told all those listening, the people yet unborn will hail him as the founder of a mighty empire. The man was George Washington, the first president of the United States.
Celebrating our nation's quest for freedom. From Dr. Eve James at Southern Smiles Family Dentistry in Quincy, 875-3908.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left!
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, each day that goes by, I do sit around thinking to myself, could Cam Akers end up in total between rushing yardage and receiving yardage somewhere close to 2,000 yards?
It really depends on how many possessions we're going to get by, defensive play and how good the offensive line is to generate more first downs for us.
We're going to get a lot more possessions. We know that. Just by virtue of how fast we play.
One way or the other, right?
Yeah,
3 and outs or scores.
The website, southernpigskin.com, ranking the ACC's top 100 players. You can look at that list if you like and decide how accurate you think it is or isn't. Jim Johnson put it together. But on that list, obviously, we're talking about the ACC, you got several Knowles. Cam Akers came in at number 6. The depressing aspect here, again, I could quibble, but 3 of the top 4 players belong to Clemson's defensive line. Herein lies the problem with the Clemson team.
It's a problem.
Man.
They recruit well to that position.
And they stay.
But they stay. That's
and
something
for what?
You can't, exactly. You can't account for that. there's supposed to be a normal amount of turnover. If you're that great, Kelvin Benjamin goes on to the next level.
Well, it's not as if a couple of these guys weren't projected already to be first-round picks.
Right.
So they turned down first-round money. Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, the Farrell kid. Damn it, man. Why?
I wonder if it's going to hit him halfway through fall camp that this is dumb.
Ryan Finley is on the list, the quarterback for NC State. He's number 7. He's behind Cam Akers, and I don't think he should be anywhere near Cam Akers on this list. I mean, like, what the hell are we doing here? But okay. It does get more difficult because you got to represent the other schools, and there are talented individuals at those places. So if you want to throw in a Lucas Dennis from a safety from BC somewhere in that top 10 because he's a real good player.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Ryan Finley, come on. What are we doing here? That's not
ranking the wrong people on this list.
Yeah. Where do you think the Etienne kid is, the running back for Clemson?
Well, he's
good.
He's a good player. I don't know. He's an every down back. But his speed is 22,
15.
Okay,
I'll live with it. Right.
That's a little probably overvalued.
Do you think he's better than A.J. Dillon? Very different back. A.J. Dillon.
Out of Boston College?
Mack truck.
No, A.J. Dillon's a better player. He can be an every down player.
He's a run-your-ass-over player,
right.
240 pounds of get you some.
Now, and I loved Etienne because I stayed and watched the end of that Louisville game last year.
That's right, yeah.
Who the hell is 9?
Yeah, he's
that
real
dude
fast.
We've seen Chris Thompson with his ability. We've seen Carlos Williams and his 0 to 60. That dude has all of that stuff bottled up in one little formula.
What I think is frustrating, by the way, Tom, and I bring this up for a very specific reason. Again, you can take issue with individual rankings. You can say, I believe that Austin Bryant is ranked too high from Clemson, or I think that Michael Jackson, the cornerback from Miami, is ranked too highly. You can do that. But if you take collectively this ranking, it will show you, again, some of the stuff that Willie Taggart has to do, and because I don't think these are too far off either. I mean, I quibble with number 12 as opposed to number 7 or number 19. Okay. But that top 25, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Clemson players. That ain't good.
Right, but 2 or 3 of which shouldn't even be there. You know what I mean? Like, that's a little ridiculous.
A couple of them. But a lot of them I agree with. A couple of them I say maybe they shouldn't be there. But a few of those I agree with. And we got one.
No, I mean be there as in at the university.
Oh, sorry.
I don't mean,
I'm quibbling with a couple
I
of
haven't seen the
rankings.
list, so I don't know who's there and who's not.
No, well, Etienne's on the list at number 15.
I'm just talking about senior defense. I mean, good God. Yeah, if Timmy Jernigan came back, he'd be a top 10 player in the ACC, probably top 5. That's the hard part here is, yes, they're recruiting really well. Their trench recruiting is really good. But if you think about what we've done, especially in the interior, we had DeMarcus Walker a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, Christmas is a good player.
We've been
right
badasses
now.
on the
And Adi
defensive
was a real
line.
good player,
And Marvin Wilson's going to be a really, really good player here. But if they all came back and stacked on top of each other, that's what Clemson has. So they're doing well, but they're getting lucky or making the right kind of cash pitch to keep kids in school.
Right kind of cash pitch. I like that we just overtly come right out and say they're paying their players to stick around. I don't know what it is either, but I do know this. It's not good when you've got one in the top 10. It also doesn't matter because it's a man's opinion, but we all recognize these players as being very good players, and I think, in truth, I don't know that I'd have much more than that. Now, there are guys, I think, potentially who would soar into this top 10 based on what I think they're going to do, but they haven't yet. So, that I got you. Cam Akers is our guy on this list, but what I don't like is there are plenty of offensive linemen on this list from other schools, none from Florida State, of course, and that is, damn it, man. I mean, think about that. I'm through the first 50 here. Naquan Murray's in that top 50. You look at Brian.
Really? Okay.
He's 48th.
Okay.
Brian Burns, Jaquez Patrick, DeMarcus Christmas, Levanta Taylor, Cam Akers. Those are our guys in the top 50.
The metrics say Taylor is an absolute monster. If you look at quarterback rating and Pro Football Focus type stats.
Yeah. Well, and I think he's going to have a great year.
Yeah.
For Florida State, though, Alec Eberle is the first of the linemen to get on the list. I think some of that is based on the fact that he looked good against Alabama, has gotten healthier, and now is in better shape and probably healthier than he's ever been going into a season.
Perhaps the scheme doesn't ask too much of him, too.
Then he might be able to live up to that. But, from there, to get to somebody else, you got to get to James Blackman at 70, DeAndre Francois at 71.
Really?
I understand that. They're back in, And then 85, Ricky Aguayo. Stanford Samuels is at 90.
That's BS. Samuel, if really we're going to forecast things, Samuel should be much higher.
Well, if I'm going to forecast things, then I'm also going to rate Trevor Lawrence a lot higher than 97th from Clemson. Right?
Right, yeah, you're saying DeAndre and Blackman are prohibitive better players, or is it about that the likelihood of either of them playing? Is that what it's about? And you're not going to put Lawrence that high because you don't think he's going to play?
I think he's going to start, and I think he's going to end up as a top 10 quarterback in the league. I think he's that good.
Be a good answer, yeah.
That
for
freak,
Clemson if they,
Good Lord.
Too bad we don't play them week 2 or week 3 so they can, start the incumbent again.
Oh, Brian? Kelly Bryant, right?
Yeah. Not that Bryant, we'd probably still lose, but what I'm saying is, make the same mistake that it was Stout. They had no choice by the middle of the season to put
freaking nuts, wasn't it?
The generational talent.
By the way, Hunter Renfrow is still at Clemson. Did you know that? Hunter Renfrow, the next guy that will start for the Patriots alongside your boy Berrios.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just have a bunch of little white guys running around out there dominating. But
watch what happens if they ever get Switzer. That's what Gruden tried to do. Gruden went and got Switzer from Dallas.
I saw that. So the point would be that Hunter Renfrow, at 35 years old, chose to come back to Clemson. That's amazing that the fast twitch is still there.
He makes like 35, 45 catches a year somewhere in there, but they're all on third down.
And they're all really important. Really important catches. Yeah, we got a ways to go. It's just a subjective list. That's fine. I got it. DeMarcus Christmas is on this list, of course, in the top 30.
Yeah.
He's quite the player. Way too many paw prints. Too few of the most beautiful logo in the game.
Well, that's right, the logo.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you win 9-10 games, that's going to change. And hell, if you exceed expectations, the guy will say, well, obviously Florida State has so many top 50 players. I think results matter too. Reputation results. As for Clemson, though, it's so skewed because they have everybody coming back. I just can't get over that. Once a week, you bring it up on the show, but once a week I think to myself, how did they do that?
I get mad about it all the time. I don't understand it. It's like Florida with pitching. Why are you signing to go to Florida? You're throwing 98, young man. Go get your money. Now, I know the answer to that is, in truth, Sully and his staff have done a really good job of properly utilizing arms, and also they add MPH while they're there.
Yes.
So they're handled well. They get better, they throw harder, and they go make their money. So kids are willing to take a chance. But I just, time and again, they roll somebody out of that bullpen and you go, really? Going 97, are you?
Must have a different arm slot in Gainesville
rather amazing.
that nobody else has.
It's very, very impressive. It's very, very, very frustrating. Lack of offensive linemen on this list for Florida State, I do think is telling, and I do think is accurate. It's my greatest concern. It is a concern that I hope scheme helps nullify, and it's a concern that I hope maybe health, a renewed sense of. Listen, technique has helped out obviously by being in shape, being stronger, being smarter, and the way you eat and all that stuff.
Right.
And I think that's what's going on over there right now. Everybody's talking about that over there. The players are talking about that. That the new way of going about the workouts has shifted dramatically and has changed their bodies. So they're all, hey, maybe we'll get surprised by that alone.
Well, and who knows how much, staying in shape actually keeps you from suffering injuries. Maybe that can help at least in.
It certainly does.
In lowering the chances. But
without question, it does.
One thing to remember is don't ever listen to Alec Eberle because he's like Jimbo on the recruiting tours. He was more than happy to tell you that Blackman has the it factor and he's going to make an impact right away last year. Just remember that. So if he says that something's the greatest in sliced bread, wait for somebody else. Double confirm. Because he's like Jimbo on the recruiting tour. Sometimes you get leading questions. You want to give the person what they want to hear.
players do that, though. Almost all of them do.
But, I mean, you don't need to go as far as saying that James Blackman has the it factor. There's something about this kid, something special.
So I think those things can be true, but it could be premature to kind of project that level of success that is intimated in a comment like that. To me, I do think Blackman has an it factor that the players gravitate towards. He's got heart, toughness. He's committed in a way that other guys on the team haven't been.
Right.
He's actually got ability as well. He was thrown into a terrible set of circumstances. Maybe Eberle could not, forest for the trees sort of thing, realize the kind of trouble they were about to be in and why, but he just saw the day-to-day work ethic and the way that the young man led and the arm talent and all that and said, okay, he's got that factor. Well, the problem is he is still a true freshman who had barely stepped foot on campus and is 150 pounds and operating in a system that –
right, and operating with coaches that don't like each other.
Right, and had checked out and everything else.
Right, and Randy Sanders is trying to teach you, and then Jimbo shouts him down.
And refused to cater. I mean, I'll go back to we don't need to do it. The start of
that's a tough situation for the young man.
Brutal. Man, it can't get here soon enough. When we come back next week, we're going to be under 80 days. We'll be in the 70s. It starts to get real, man. It starts to get real. When you get to like a couple months out, 60 days out, things start happening. First of all, the ACC meetings happen next month. I'll be at the ACC kickoff, talk to Willie Taggart, talk to the other coaches, talk to the players. It'd be interesting to see who Florida State sends to those, by the way.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Christmas, they'll send Christmas because they already sent him on a booster stop, so that tells me they're comfortable with him getting in front of a microphone.
Yeah, they'll send Christmas, and who else?
Not Nooney. I can tell you that much.
Probably not, no.
Eberle.
Probably
It'll be Eberle Christmas. There you go.
Not Jaquez Patrick, who's also good. He's a candidate. Been here 20 years.
Right.
Fatherly.
He can handle an interview, too.
I've interviewed him. Yeah. I did an interview with him for Sirius.
So there's your three candidates. Yeah.
So that's probably it, yeah. You would think you'd like to be able to turn to a guy who's been here for a while and played quarterback, but you're not in that situation.
Well, you ain't sending Frenchie. I know that much.
No, you're definitely not. He doesn't want to be there anyhow, so
right.
He'll be elated because they did send him, and he
now,
wasn't
if
happy.
they send Jay, well, they can't do that, though, because that signals that the quarterback competition's over. So, you're kind of pigeonholed here. You got only a few options.
I think you're either going Eberle or you're going Jaquez. And then, if you go, I guess you could send Ricky Aguayo.
Boy, that'd be a big middle finger to everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but
you probably don't want to do that your first year. You want to give him somebody.
Yeah, give him somebody. Give us somebody. But I'll be at that meeting. I'm excited to hear what the ACC media thinks about the upcoming season. You always pick everybody's brain. I get a chance to interview Dabo. I get a chance to interview my man Adazio. I'll get a chance to interview Mark Richt again, who didn't want to be interviewed last time.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's a little out there, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Mark's a little...
It's not rocket science, dude.
Yeah, he's laid back, man. I think Mark might have been high. Not really, folks. I don't think he was. But it's
a different Mark Richt.
Yeah.
He's got the goatee shoving officials, and he's getting high.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Chris Sims, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer quarterback who nearly died on the field, said about Julian Edelman that a lot of people around the league kind of thought that he was most certainly using performance-enhancing drugs, and it's not surprising that he was nabbed and given a 4-game suspension for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing substances. He was coming off a torn ACL that derailed his entire 2017 season. Julian Edelman was expected to make a triumphant return to game action in Week 1 of the upcoming NFL campaign. In the wake of the Edelman's absence, there were rumors. People were wondering what was going on. Of course, the NFL announced what was going on, and it found out he's been suspended. And so that led Chris Sims to say, well, this surprised nobody. There have been rumors for a long time that he was, in fact, using performance-enhancing drugs. He said this on a podcast that he is on. And he also went on to say that many people around the league have told him that. Now, these aren't verifiable rumors. These are things Chris Sims is telling you. I don't know why he has a reason to lie, but maybe he is. I don't know. But you, Tom Lang, have been saying that about a lot of guys. Anybody that returns from an ACL in like an hour.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute here. What's going on here? And this time around, Julian Edelman.
Yeah, he kept using, well, I mean, it's like the pink Cadillac theory, right, too? I mean, he is absolutely jacked out of his mind for as diminutive as he is for the sport.
Yeah, no, he's a thick dude, yeah.
Yes, he is. And wear sleeves, man. Like, wear baggy ones.
Oh, Manny Ramirez did it really well for a long time. Like, we had no idea that dude was stacked.
Right. Jim Thom or
Tomei.
I know.
Jim
Thom with a bomb.
But I don't think Tomei.
If you look at his arms, man, oh my God.
I don't know. I have to double check him. I don't think he's a good example. We don't know.
I'll pull it up. I'll get you a photo.
Edelman's a better example.
Well, yeah.
And you can look like that, but yeah, you
may want to wear like the baggy sleeves. You know, it just looks like you got stretched out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because every play, and he's also got roid rage after every play. I get that you have to have a chip on your shoulder in order to be that small and to go over the middle and play in the dirty areas that he does. But good God. I mean, that is the easiest call in the world. In some ways, I feel like it's easier than Brian Cushing that he was using.
That was the easiest of all time because in one picture he had boobs. And the next, he was a professional weightlifter.
I still remember the 1270 blog and the comparison photo
It's still
page.
one of my favorite pictures.
It would have to get recycled every 3 months.
Look at this sorry flabba. You know what? And now look at him. I mean, he was the softest looking, ridiculous athlete. And the next thing you know, he was rocked. It was crazy. You find it?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. I'll find it.
I want the Jim Tomei picture when we get a chance. Well, here's the thing, though. You get the fundamental difference between the way that people look at football and the way that people look at baseball. We still talk every time one of these revelations come out, every time there's a suspension of some kind, about, baseball players and the shame associated with it. And I'm not happy about it because, again, I care more about baseball numbers than I do football numbers. But football players, I'm talking about high profile. We're not talking about backup players fighting to make the league. The guys that are maybe in the trenches and not as well known by fans. Superstars get busted left and right in the NFL, and we were like, no big deal.
Boy, they're going to be without him for a month. That stinks.
Yeah, but, big-time stars, big-time contributors. We just assume that that's part and parcel to playing the game.
Remember Sean Merriman?
Oh,
that was not a shocker at all.
No, of course not. None of them were. None of them were. And I said a long time ago on that subject, listen, you're talking about the NFL. That is as brutal a sport as you will ever see. And I don't care. At that point, I'm like, use what you got to use, man, because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I love watching the sport, and I like big hits. And you know what? Unless you can all universally agree to go back to a time where that's not going to happen, where people aren't using, in a gladiatorial sport, as I say,
right?
Can we agree that this is something that we're just not going to do as a players' union? As a players' union for our health, our long-term health, can we just agree to stop doing this? We'll all be big, strong guys, just a little less big, strong, and we'll be healthier for it. But they can't get people to do that.
You know who's next in the receiving cores of the NFL is Josh Gordon. Have you seen the photos of him in the offseason?
Is he stacked?
He's going to go from, getting suspended for weed to suspended. It's not natural.
Remember David Boston back in the day?
That's what he looks like. People were saying it looks like David Boston.
That was crazy with David Boston.
Yep.
I mean, David Boston or Landry at safety.
Yep.
Where you're going, come on, man. You're 260 pounds. What are you doing?
So it was either earlier this week or late last week that it was the talk, because there was a photo of Gordon. He was talking about, they're the best receiving core, and talking about Baker and all that stuff. But then there was just this still photo of him, running in underwear football for the workouts.
And he's massive.
People brought up David Boston straight away. Yep.
Well, I remember, and the funny thing about David Boston was he was never small. But David Boston one time, it was from one off season to the next. It went from, it's a big receiver. You don't see receivers that big. Good God, look at David Boston. What the hell has happened here? What are we doing, sir? Remember when Giambi reported?
Oh, my God. Right?
Well, the before and after with Giambi was my favorite, because right after he was reported to have been busted in that initial test that MLB did. Remember, MLB did the test before they enacted their new program?
Right, and then there was a leak.
Right, of course there was. But the people that tested positive got warned by the league. They said, hey, we know. We got you. This isn't going to count. You got a year. Next year, we're coming in with this new test, and we will catch you, and you will be suspended 50 games, 100 games life. So let's all get it together. It's a little bit what I've proposed for NCAA basketball. Is that, okay, everybody's been running amok for a long time, but we've got some big names out here that we know are running amok that we hang our hat on, that we make a lot of money off of. I'm looking at you, Roy Williams, Coach K, any number of other people. Let's slow our roll on the ways in which we go about getting our players. Just so you know, under the new policy, this, and this, which we think you've been guilty of in the past, are going to result in these punishments. And so everybody's got a chance to get right.
I'm a multi-time gold medalist. I'm above reproach.
So you got to give all of these big names. I'm not saying I know who's guilty and who's not in NCAA basketball, but given what has been revealed with the FBI investigation, I don't know that you could say that any of those central figures are innocent. I mean, they got Patino. They got these guys. I mean, he didn't do it because he didn't think he needed to. I mean, who's he going against to get players, right?
Just don't get them the hookers. Just give them the cash and let them do what they want to do with the cash.
So my thing is with football is that you would love to see them be able to do that. But, back to the Giambi. So Giambi gets told, hey, man, we know. I mean, obviously.
We already did.
We already did, but now
you're doing Arm
really,
& Hammer commercials and you're flexing before the world.
Now we definitely know. So he rolls into spring training that next year, having lost 40 pounds. He's like lean. Still a big dude, but he's lean. And the reporter asked him how much weight he lost. He goes, 10 to 12 pounds. 10 to 12 pounds. Changed my diet. Did you? Change your diet. Just changed some things in my diet. Drinking a lot of water.
Jason, by last year's standards, you look emaciated. Is everything all right?
Well, at the risk of being insensitive, I mean, I would have asked him if he had, contracted HIV or something. I would have said, sir, you are...
It's a hell of an allegation.
My man looked like he was dying on the vine.
You think Trout's using?
This pisses me off because I'm not at you, and just in general. Trout's been huge since day one, right?
Yes.
A big damn dude.
Wider than he is tall. Yeah.
He's just a stacked dude. He was a football player. He could have played football, all that other stuff. You would have to be very bold to enter the league that kind of big, put up those numbers, continue to be that guy year in and year out.
It's a hell of a strategy, though. Well, I've always been
jacked. Yeah.
It's kind of a protectionary method. It's not bad.
He'd also have to be really good at it.
Because if Harper all of a sudden looked like Trout, people what is Bryce Harper doing?
Harper's bigger than we realize, though.
Yes, he wears the baggie.
But he's also gotten there naturally. He's still young. So we got to see him break into the league when he still didn't have his man weight yet.
He was a pipsqueak.
And he's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. But it looks, don't know if it is, looks like a natural progression from year to year. He doesn't walk into the batter's box day one of spring training, and you're like, good God, Bryce Harper, you're 260 pounds. I mean, he's just But
he is low-key baggy uniform guy. It's not quite, Jim Thome in the 90s and 2000s. But it's not exactly, skin tight either.
Well, that's just a matter of preference. I don't know if he's on it or not. I'm not going to make a case for him.
It's a smart play, either way.
If you're on it, you should wear the baggy clothes. I'm telling you, Manny Ramirez was freaking, an Olympic weightlifter, and we had no idea because of how baggy his clothes were. And then that one photo that got him, he came out there with his undershirt on in batting practice, and I remember saying, holy moly, look at Manny Ramirez. He had shoulders the size of Texas.
But he was very, very sensitive because of the estrogen he was taking.
Yes.
To regulate his levels.
Giambi. And what a career. He quietly played another 25 years, hitting home runs in the wee hours of the night at least once a year that were dramatic.
That was, do I still have that clip?
That was a great call,
That was a call. It was for the Indians because he was like the beloved player.
Because he was still in the league and he was 50.
I think I finally got it. It was retired after
Didn't
about 3
he do
or
it for
4
the
years.
Rockies as well?
I think he did. Oh, no, I have it. I'll turn Tom Petty down.
Yeah, turn Tom down and let's listen to this. This is Giambi, yeah.
Reed ready, 1-1 pitch. Giambi with a drive, deep right field. Are you kidding me? Oh, my! The Indians have won it. Their 11th walk-off win of the season, and none more dramatic than this one right here, right now.
They mobbed him. It was endearing.
They did. That team was really fun to watch.
Well,
because
but it was endearing, too. He was old. At that point, he had a belly.
Right.
He was just jogging around third.
But he was brought in for that moment, and he knew if he got his pitch, he was going to swing for the downs, and he did.
He could hit a ball a mile.
And he was literally a gray beard at the time because he had the gray scruff going.
He had gray beard, and he was like a child when he rounded the bases, and you all at once knew that he had cheated his ass off for the vast majority of his career, and you liked him all of a sudden again because he was like a kid.
It's Bartolo Colon syndrome. That's what happens to us.
Yeah, you age, you get a little punch. You're out there still trying to get, oh, look at the old man. All right. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Hope you're well. Hope you took the over on Russia and Saudi Arabia. Because Big Daddy J certainly jumped on board that Russian train, baby. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do, go back and get caught up. All 3 hours going to be posted both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. WTSM app, I used it last night. Actually went back and caught up on some little headlines. I wanted to hear a segment where we were talking, and I thought, Tom, I may have said something I shouldn't have said, and I got to go check. I know Matthew makes sure that things don't go out over the airwaves that shouldn't, but it was so buried in the middle of the segment, I thought, I better double check that. Everything was good. Everything was good.
There you go. So
and I found it right there on the WTSM app, Tom.
Maybe your mic was off or something?
No, I misremembered to quote Roger Clemens. I misremembered. You can email me if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. You can also find me on Twitter at J Cameron Show, at 979ESPN Radio. If you want to Periscope the program, to YouTube it, it's ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. Hope all you YouTubers are doing well. It is U.S. Open week. I love the U.S. Open. I don't like when they, let the course get away from them, but I do like the test. And today, the wins, not going to give a lot away, but there's some big names out there putting up big numbers, and we won't know until late tonight whether or not some of those bigger numbers are, death knells, or are they overcomable? That's not a word.
It is now.
Can you overcome something like that? It's overcomable.
Well, I mean, if Rory shoots plus 10, that gives you a beginning indicator of
he did
what
shoot
it's all
plus
about.
10 too. He did. Yeah, that's a plus 10 he shot.
And that group didn't play very well.
Wow. Hurt your feelings. These guys aren't used to throwing up plus 10.
No, I think it was something like plus 23 or plus 24 between Rory McIlroy, Phil Mickelson, and Jordan Spieth. There's something about the super groups too, man.
Players don't like it.
Right. The Tiger, Dustin, we'll see, obviously, but typically, I stay away from those. So we were doing an impromptu winner-take-all draft last night, and I wasn't there, but I had a scouting report. And the super groups, you kind of want to stay away from them, because if one guy plays poorly, it seems like there's a gravity to it. They all played terribly.
Like an added pressure because you're part of a super group.
It's like, let me do enough to beat the guys I'm playing with.
Yeah.
Not do enough to be, top 10 on the leaderboard.
Top 10 on the leaderboard. Yeah, and I suppose it should be able to work the other way, too, where if the world-class players are placed together and they all play well, or one starts playing really well, they follow suit, too. But it never seems to be that way.
No, the only exception is if you get, let's say, an A player and a B player, or something along the lines of stars but not, top 5 in the world, and they're friends. Like, if you ever hear that the day before, and Westwood and Garcia are going to play together today, and they're great friends, then
They
there's
relax.
no pressure on them.
Yeah,
They relax
yeah.
and they just play the game. That does matter. Just how a caddy matters for a shot or two over a couple of days. I think that matters too who you're playing with. But these guys don't really like each other all that much because there's a competitive ego thing that's going
You're
on.
trying to beat each other's brains in every
Right.
week. Yeah. By the way, if you're racing home tonight to watch the U.S. Open, much of which you missed today while you were at work, join the club. I'll join you. I won't give away I know we already mentioned Rory, but we won't give you a ton of scores because I know you want to watch that when you get home. But here's something. As I was lucky enough last night, again, I've mentioned it throughout the show today because it's just cool to have access to a guy of this magnitude. But we had Jeff Hall on, the USGA's Managing Director of Rules and Open Championships, and he's a guy that is really in charge of everything you're going to see out on that course and everything leading up to it. And Shinnecock Hill is famous because it's the oldest club in America, but also because they've had the Open there before, most notably in 2004, where it got away from them, in particular on number 7, where guys were literally throwing up 10s and 12s on a singular hole, missing putts by a few feet, and only to have it roll literally 20 and 30 yards out into the fairway because it was so dry. So they didn't want to, they wanted to make sure that didn't happen this time around. But they did say, and he said specifically, hey, the test is the test. I mean, the idea is to test the world's best, every facet of their game, and even par could win the Open, maybe something slightly over or just under. But really, we have no control of the wind.
Right.
If the wind comes in, then, hey, you could see a big number. Now, you see big numbers today, but let's just say, for argument's sake, tomorrow there is no wind. It's a gettable course. In the way, it's always a difficult course. But back in 2004, the drive zones were in the 26-yard range. They're 41 plus now. They've opened it up for the longer hitters to let it bleed out. You got a chance. You aren't always going to be buried in the rough.
Right. And listening to the coverage today on PGA Tour Radio, a network that somebody does a show on, West Coast Drive Time.
Imagine that.
I don't know who it is. But they were talking about how this course really, there's kind of two lies. There is a semi-rough, but in truth, it's fairway then fescue. There isn't a whole lot of, crazy rough that you're going to have to deal with unless you get into the native grass. But to get there, you really have to miss, save for a couple of holes. So,
yeah, you got to screw up.
In some U.S. Opens in years past, especially as there was a greater emphasis on technology. And so guys were hitting longer than the courses were ever designed for them to hit.
Because they could scramble and they didn't care if they were in the rough.
And so now they're talking about some holes 18 yards width of a fairway. And so you should hit the 4-iron and lay it back or something along those lines. Now they're just saying, screw that. Let's go 30, 40 yards wide. And if you miss, that's your freaking problem. You can't go in front of a camera after this round is over and complain to me that you missed by 30 yards left or right and say the course is too hard.
The holes to watch, the greens to really look at today, and it will be this way throughout the tournament, no matter what happens. 3, 7, 10, 11 greens, 14 fairways, fascinating, and the 18th green is also a really difficult green, so there you go.
Ain't no trees out there, man. You're just going to get some wind tunnels going on.
Well, I want to see a nice mixture of a couple of all-time greats and a couple of maybe first-timers in the mix on a Sunday. That's ideal. I'd like to see that. I don't know that we're going to get that. I do think we're going to have a traffic jam on Sunday, which means real drama, potential playoff. It's been the year of the playoff. Why not at the U.S. Open?
Which is different these days.
Yeah, it's no longer 18 holes. It's no longer what they do now. They're trying to get a result on a Sunday. It's 2 holes, right?
I think it's 2,
Yeah, they don't want to do what they did on the anniversary. Tiger Woods, getting to play an extra 18 after birdieing 18 10 years ago.
The Monday factor. It's just who's got time to log in and watch that on a Monday. It used to be that it was just you got your reports from the newspaper, so it really didn't matter, or the radio.
You know what I love? I love that some players, it just shows they're human beings. Jordan Spieth and a few other guys didn't even know they made rules changes. They had no idea that if it went to a playoff that it was different than it used to be. Somebody asked him about it, and he goes, I think it's an interesting idea. And they were like, no, they did it. And he goes, so we don't play 18 if it's a tie? And he's right there in the press conference. He had no idea. But some other big names didn't either. So it wasn't just him. I thought, well, that's fascinating. They didn't even pay attention.
It happens, man. Athletes get so consumed by what they're doing in the weeds. I mean, McNabb didn't know the overtime rules.
Well, that's – good God, man. You've seen enough overtime games in your life to know.
Maybe he hasn't. Maybe
I don't. I think Donovan's a special case.
He's been a recurring character this week. It's not even, I don't even mean for that,
I mean, my man is, he's not terribly bright.
You could trust him in October.
That was comical. Hey, so we've seen that the Hall of Fame has been announced there for Florida State Athletics, and inducting a new class of 9 members on Friday, September the 7th. And I love it because it includes a National League Most Valuable Player. I wonder who that is. You've got a 2-time Olympic medalist and one of the Seminoles' all-time great defensive linemen in Odell Haggins. It's also got Al Thornton, Tom. And what I couldn't believe with Al Thornton going in was, can you remember off the top of your head year 1 for Al Thornton?
It wasn't good.
No, it's 2 points a game, but I'm not talking about that. What year was it?
Year 1 for Al Thornton was 2003-04.
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah.
14 years ago, Al Thornton started his career at Florida State. Good God, man.
He was a junior when I was here in the spring of 06, so I had to do math.
Such a good player there, man. I was looking back at that, some of the guys, and I hate to gloss over people. Obviously, congratulations to Odell Haggins, who's going in as well. But Buster Posey is going in, and there was never going to be a doubt. Even Buster Posey, having played here 12 years ago, seems like
well, these are athletes that played when I was here, sir.
Yeah.
So as an undergrad student.
Dix, I mean, Walter Dix was obviously blazingly fast, and I remember him, and I remember what he had done, but I didn't realize that was 2005. That's 13 years ago. Well, I mean, he ran through 2005 through 2008, but still.
Just hammering me with when I was an undergrad. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I always wanted Walter, after he was done in competition, to just run with the spear in his hand from end zone to end zone at Doak as fast as he could.
Into somebody's chest.
But just
like
marvel
an enemy.
At the speed of how quickly he could run. Or even if it was just he's in his tracksuit and he just runs. He doesn't have to hold the spear. And people could just watch it and be amazed by how fast an athlete like that is.
I do like the stuff that the Braves do with that guy that tracks down.
The freeze.
Yeah, I love him. It makes me laugh. It doesn't cease to amaze me, A, how fast that dude is, and B, how silly people are going to look. It always happens. Even if you got decent form, next to a world-class runner, you look like an ass. You look like you have no athletic ability at all. You look like you're the slowest man on earth, and there's nothing you can do about it because that dude is that fast. But there have been people with like 75-yard leads with 20 yards to go, and Holmes is just,
Who would be a good candidate to put on the opposing 40-yard line? So a 60-yard head start, and then here comes Walter Dix.
I mean, he would catch all of us.
Right. Is there a knoll that
you would want to see? Back in the day, Big Jelly, when he played here, I'd love to see Big Jelly trying to get
Timmy Jernigan, bring him back?
Any lineman.
Yeah.
Give me any gigantic lineman having to traverse. Let him start on the 30. Let him have a 70-yard head start. And then put Walter Dix at the other goal line and go. We'd be like, ooh, run, big man, run. That's always fun, right? You're like, you can do it, always get you. It's suspenseful.
If it was a crappy game, like a Sanford, I'd attend that game just for that. If you told me that was happening, I would want to say I was there.
Listen, first of all, the drama, you saw the girl from USC in the track that
yes.
Oh, my God, that was incredible.
That thing went viral,
That's emotional. I mean, look at this curl. That's incredible. So that's intense, and it's awesome. It's sport. It's competition. It's heart. It's all those things that you like to see. But this would have that element, even though it's apples to oranges. You'd see the world-class athlete running, so you'd be awed, and then you'd see another kind of, I guess, elite athlete.
Oh, well, Timmy's an elite athlete.
Yeah, an elite athlete, no doubt. Just gifted in different ways. So you would have to watch that play out, and there would be drama because he'd get 15 yards in, and Dix would be damn near the 50, and you'd be going, ooh, oh, I don't know. This is gonna be down to the wire. I love that stuff. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Golf bag. Hard to shop for dad or grad? How about a gift card? Shop Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Need help moving? Two Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit twomen.com or call them at 850-224-2232. Two Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
I'm Michael Blank, an attorney with the Personal Injury Law Office of Jose R. Fernandez. If you get into an accident, call 1-855-HOSE-305. That's 1-855-HOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
And we're back with another edition of Spring Cleaning. Today, we want to know how you save energy, water, and money during a warmer season. Caller, you're on the air. What do you do to save energy?
With the warmer temperature, I know my AC is working overtime, so I make sure to replace my AC filter once a month.
Excellent suggestion. Next caller, you're on the air.
Well, the City of Tallahassee recommends that I take advantage of their grants and loans to get more installation in my attic. That's really going to keep my cooling costs down.
These are some great suggestions. There are lots of ways to save. Caller, you're on the air.
I reduce energy for water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing. Sorry. Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I think I disagree with Willie. Willie Taggart, that is. Well, I mean, just on something rather trivial. The oft retweeted answer he gave to a young man's question about if Florida and Texas A&M are playing, who are you rooting for to win the game? And Willie said, I'm not watching that game. And it was, it was comical. And I saw Tom Block laughing in the video, and everybody had a good hearty laugh. And that's all well and good. But I disagree. I bet you, I bet I would be willing to bet a large sum of money. The vast majority of this fan base would absolutely tune into that game. Maybe not root for anybody, but absolutely tune into that game. In fact, this fan base is going to watch more Texas A&M football this year than they have in the last 35. Period. They just are, even if they deny that. And we always watch Florida, and they watch us, just like we watch Miami, and they watch us. I mean, you watch your rivals. I mean, if I'm sitting down on a Saturday and the 3:30s come on, and we're not playing, or we're a night game, or we already just about got done playing at noon or something like that, as was the case oft last year.
That was the one thing. Yeah. We did watch a lot of marquee football.
A lot of noon games. Mm-hmm. So
not our games, the other games.
No, the marquee games, as you noted, yes. I would typically I'll look for the best matchup or the one that might have the biggest impact, say, depending on the time of year, biggest impact on the playoff, potential conference championship or something like that. But if all things are equal, I'm tuning in to either Clemson, Florida, Miami. I mean, that's who you're watching. I watch my rivals very intently. Root against them. Don't live and die with their results. I'm more concerned about ours. But I'm watching. One of the reasons, too, is you always have a vested interest. You also usually have a rooting interest. Usually you need one of the two that you hate or loathe to fall by the wayside or win. Sometimes you need them to win. Like, oh, well, we're still got to play you. I need you to keep it together.
Yep.
So, I think you're watching that game. Oh, I know I'm watching Texas A&M in Florida. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm rooting for an 8-7 final. I think that'd be awesome.
I'm rooting for a sloppy, sorry, somehow somebody inflicts some pain emotionally type result.
Well, I'm looking for the result where the broadcasters, midway through the third quarter, are apologizing.
Yeah, these two teams are garbage guys.
Boy, this
they
is
never say that, but
rough day. Both these teams just can't get out of their own way.
Struggling mightily.
With the old Vern, if he was still calling it, going, yes.
I'm glad Vern's not calling anymore. I know he was a treasure for a lot of people. In the last few years, I didn't think that. I thought he struggled. That's all right. We all will eventually, but yeah.
He did. I just think he's a really super nice guy. I think that
I don't
comes
think
across.
There's any doubt about that.
Yeah. So I rooted for him. I get it. There was a heavy slant, especially if you'd watch the Florida-Georgia game every year. My God. I mean, he should be wearing a blue suit with an orange tie.
It's kind of strange.
It is kind of
strange. I don't
strange.
know where it comes from.
I don't either. Maybe the Tebow years, but it might have predated that too.
Probably the Tebow.
He loved Bowden, though. So if they ever had a game with Bowden, like a bowl game, I think they were the ones who did his final game. I mean, that was perfect. But still, even though he was a big pro Gator guy in a lot of big games, he just seems like the nicest guy you'll ever meet in public. So I feel like...
His voice was comforting because you got so used to it. I can still hear replays of Pat Summerall, and Summerall annoyed me, at least stylistically, because nothing was ever good enough for him.
Right.
I mean, a 99-yard touchdown run and he's gone. Touchdown, Cowboys. Jesus, dude. I mean, that's a big play.
Well, Sunday afternoons were a little early for him, I think.
But the voice was great, and he was even keel. You knew what you were getting, and it worked out all right. But I did want him to up his game a little bit on the big plays. On the you throw a 65-yard bomb to take the lead in the fourth, and it's a hell of a catch from Terrell Owens, or whoever. I need you to.
Well, yeah, he called a lot of Randy Moss touchdowns from distance. Touchdown, Randy Moss.
Oh. There was a stretch of about 2 years with Randy Moss, and then he revitalized himself yet again with New England and Tom Brady, or they revitalized him. But there was a stretch for 2 years where that was the only play that you needed to run. Dante Culpepper built a career out of it. Couldn't do a damn thing else.
Brad did okay with it, too.
That's what I mean. Guys that were okay quarterbacks really had some phenomenal years, just pew. And then he got with an all-time great quarterback, and the numbers were astronomical.
Would Alabama still be in the doldrums if Nick Saban got Drew Brees in Miami instead of Dante Culpepper?
Yes. Well, I don't know if they'd still be in the doldrums. They might have found a right guy eventually, and it's got cachet, and people want to win, and they're invested. But they wouldn't be this juggernaut. A lot of things have to go right. You're exactly right. The lining of the stars, man.
I'll bet you Les Miles would still be at LSU and they'd have 3 or 4 titles because that was the only team they were competing with for a couple of years.
Yeah, but Les couldn't sustain that. Les isn't good enough of a coach to do that.
I mean, he played him in a national title game after already winning one.
No, Les is
that defense was – I mean, Alabama built itself to be better than LSU and the style that LSU played.
Do you think Michigan – see, this is fun to do this. Do you think Michigan fans ever wonder – would we have been as down for as long as we were if Les had just taken the job as he originally agreed to do when he was,
Right. He probably would have brought them to a baseline level at minimum.
Yeah.
Where they could have found maybe Harbaugh comes in at that moment and swoops in over a
Turns
program.
out Harbaugh might not be the answer.
But the interesting thing, though, is at least Hoke brought in players. I mean, that was the talking point, too. We can't forget about that. When Harbaugh came in, was the people who liked Hoke.
I brought him in.
And were on, they knew he didn't deserve to be extended or he shouldn't have been continuing as the head coach. They would say, though, well, Harbaugh's got a chance to capitalize right away because this is not a barren cupboard. Harbaugh's walking into a pretty good situation. It's not a total rebuild. And yet he hasn't done much with it.
Well, his chance, the funny thing about it, I'm interested in Michigan football this year because they actually could be sleepy decent. Now that they finally have a quarterback, I mean, you go back and you realize that his time is plagued by the fact that and the irony is, of course, he's a former quarterback.
Right.
He just hasn't been able to find anybody to play the position, and they suffer greatly because of it. Those first couple of years under Harbaugh, obviously, I mean, they had a chance. They had a chance to do some big things. And they didn't. What they do? Go through 10-3. I was double checking it while we were talking here. Yeah, 10-3, 10-3, 8-5. The first year that when they won the Citrus Bowl, that team, had they got decent quarterback play, might have been an 11-2 team.
Right.
Might have been a 12-1 team.
And then there was a team that played us in the Orange Bowl.
That's right. Didn't really have great quarterback play. Still,
but they're in they're in Ohio State. They're in the Horseshoe.
They got it won.
They're going to win that game.
Yeah, and then he called.
And they're
a bunch
going
of
to the
dumb
playoffs.
Plays. Well, that's the other thing. Is that he cost them a rivalry game, and that was his chance.
Right.
See, you lose that game, and now you've lost 3 straight to your rival because the next year they lose 5 games, and they lost to him again. So he's lost to him every year. They haven't won a Big Ten title. The product's not getting better. They go 3-3-5 in terms of losses. I'm telling you, man, I know he gets a little leeway because he's a Michigan guy and he played there and they love him and he has been able to recruit some and, the product should be better. They're investing $7 million a year in him. But because they're investing $7 million plus a year in him, I'd say if he loses 3 or 4 more games this year, now you're talking 4 years where you haven't had fewer than 3 losses in a given season and you haven't beaten your rival. When is it okay to say, what the hell is Jim Harbaugh employed for?
Right.
What, is it 5 years? How many years do you get?
Well, the money, their situation is like Texas A&M.
Yeah, they got more money than they know what to do with, but still, it represents something. The money represents something. Jimbo Fisher didn't take the Texas A&M job for money. I know that nationally the storyline is the dollar amount. It's the $75 million. It's what that money represents, which is a further commitment to football than he thought Florida State was willing to give him here. He's comfortable. He's made a ton of money. It's not about the money. It helps. It doesn't suck. You're not going to say no to the money. But that wasn't the reason he took the money. Harbaugh's rich, by the way. He was rich when he was with the 49ers. He was rich before he got there. He's rich now. That $7 million represents something else. And it's a demand for, first of all, elite expectations from the fan base because you're committing at the highest level above and beyond everybody not named Alabama. So you have to win akin to that. They're not. A&M, I mean, they're giving Jimbo Fisher $75 million, 7.5 per, not to finish third in the West.
Right. Well, it's a classic case of overpaying. As a fan of the second best team in New York baseball, we have to overpay to go get people in free agency. We got Carlos Beltran. He would have played for probably a few less dollars if it was Houston that came calling because he liked Houston. But you have to go crazy and wow them and force them to say yes. I agree with you that on principle, it's about more than just that one piece of the puzzle for Jimbo. I mean, he wanted all. He wanted blank checks for whatever he wanted to add every offseason, and I'm sure he got the assurances he needed in exchange for riding a horse every once in a while and putting a badge on his, he's as a rodeo clown.
The old ride the horse.
Say, all right, I'll do it.
Goodness
but
gracious.
you got to give me a new wing to my IPF every single year and all that kind of stuff. But when you're A&M and you're trying to dig out of a hole and your, program history is nothing, Jimbo's a big historian. That's a whole big nothing. He could tell you that better than most.
He probably will the second that he doesn't like a question. Well, when's the last time y'all won anything around here?
That's
he
a hell of
loves
an
to do
answer.
that. I mean, yeah.
That's different than here. We say, now hold on a damn minute. It was a better coach than you, sir, and that's within the last couple of decades.
Yeah, well, they'll have to say in the 30s, coach.
We're approaching the 30s again. We're on the doorstep of the 30s.
Oh, my goodness. By the way, you brought up your Mets, and on that subject, this is not to rub it in, but per ESPN Stats and Info, those are staggering numbers.
It's getting funny.
Well, yeah, I think that's one way to look at it, but it is also historically shocking. Jacob deGrom has an 0.87 ERA in his last 10 starts. Folks, my man in 10 starts has an ERA under 1. The Mets lost 8 of those games. What in the world? I'm telling you now, if I'm DeGrom. But here, let me piggyback on that. DeGrom has 7 starts this season where his team lost, in which he gave up 1 or 0 runs in the start. Per Elias Sports, that's tied for the most starts in a season like that since 1893. 1893. Bob Hope was 25 years old in 1893. I mean, that is insane.
I actually have advanced audio from Jacob deGrom when this season concludes.
Oh, let's hear it. That is, wow. 1893. You don't often see the Stats and Info or Elias Sports throw down with stats dating back to the 1800s for the kind of screw job that's going on for deGrom. I don't know how he doesn't take the hill laughing like an out-of-control clown who's taken too much medication or something. I mean, my man should just start wildly throwing the ball at his own players as they take the field.
There it is.
Just start beating Todd Frazier every time he steps out with his 230 hitting ass. The rest of them just throw balls at him.
I think he should just grab a lawn chair and right behind home plate. I mean, actually, you know what? He should stand right next to the batter's box as we're batting. Because he's in no danger. Maybe right in front of home plate.
Right.
Better yet, right in front of home plate.
He can't get hit. He can't get hit.
No, but he stands right in front of home plate about 10 feet in front of it. Because we'll never hit him.
No, but the pitcher would. So you got to get him, like you mean just to the left or the right,
yeah,
maybe?
Just to the left or the right.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to hit. So what the hell does it matter?
I mean,
he could sit
that
in a beach chair there and just mock us.
You could heckle.
Yeah.
He should heckle. Like
Well,
in
you guys
Little League.
suck.
You guys are terrible. Oh, there's another strikeout. Have a seat, punk.
Maybe I should bat 9 times in a row and see how many.
He can't do any worse.
Right.
He can't do any worse. He could hit 9 straight times.
We got 2 hit yesterday.
And not do any worse.
We got 2 hit yesterday.
By a guy who was coming off the DL who hasn't pitched in months.
I never heard of him.
Well, because he hasn't been pitching.
Right.
And he shoved.
That's just one in a long line of stories just like it.
But DeGrom gave up 1 earned run.
Right. No, I know, buddy. This has been 2 months.
10 starts with an ERA of 0.87. I remember.
That's about 55 days worth of time that this has been going on.
I think we were together. I think we were on the air together. If not, you were interning. Do you remember when? Maybe we weren't. When Roger Clemens had that year where he was with the Astros and they couldn't give him a run, and he was his record. He was sub 500.
Yeah,
and he had like a 1.37 or some such nonsense. I mean,
we've talked about that year a lot. I don't know.
It's a crazy year, but I think the reason I bring it up, pull up that year.
I'm pulling it up.
The reason I bring it up is because I remember thinking, man, that is so. I mean, this is a case this is a case for when why you don't look at wins and losses for pitchers as a stat of great importance, because my man has done everything in his power, and they can't win games for him. I think their batting average and their runs total and all the other stats were just mind-bogglingly bad. But I didn't think it was ever going to be, at least maybe it was a big stretch of that season and they got it together at the end. I don't remember. But Jacob deGrom, I've never seen this. You can't pitch 10 times and have an ERA under 1, significantly under 1. It's not like 0.99. It's 0.87, and they've lost 8 times.
That's right. This was 2005, so I was still in high school.
Time flies,
college.
Jesus, good Lord.
He was 13-8 was the record. However, it's impossible that his record was 13-8, considering he pitched 211 innings over 32 starts to a 1.87 ERA.
1.87 in a still steroid era, but 1.87.
Right, so he's averaging roughly about 7 innings a start, which today is like a miracle.
Oh, no. He was a horse.
Over 32 starts and won 13 games. Lost 8.
Lost 8 games with an ERA under 2.
Yes, that's correct. For a season.
Now, what DeGrom's doing
is better.
Much.
Right, because that's a third of a season, 10 starts. That's a third of a season, and he's got an 0.87. Mm-hmm. No, the dude's a monster. We were talking about it before this ever became a story, because Syndergaard is regarded as an ace, but he's an above-average pitcher who's not yet an ace. But DeGrom is a bona fide badass.
Superstar, yeah, and the Mets are going to ruin all of his starts, and they're not going to win. That organization's more in shambles than I thought. Really, they had a right to be. They should sell everybody.
They should sell the franchise, the ownership group. No,
I agree with that, but I'm saying they got to be sellers. They're terrible.
No, we're
just
screwed.
Sell everybody.
Listen, as a Mets fan, we're screwed, and this is why I don't get angry about it, because I just know it's true.
Resigned to the fact
we were winning in spite of ourselves. We had a good run of some trades when we were selling off last time.
You had good pitching. Yeah.
That's where we got Syndergaard as a throw-in.
Right. It worked out well.
The catcher was the centerpiece of the trade. And then Wheeler was a throw-in, and Harvey was a good pick. Anyway, now with this ownership group being the way it is, they were chintzy because they got screwed in the Madoff thing, and somehow, some way, they've cozied up next to Manfred and Selig before him, to the point that Wilpon has been the COO of MLB, and you got taken for a Ponzi scheme, and you're going to be a financial chief officer? No. So that's how bad it is. So as long as that family's running the franchise, you got to win in spite of yourselves. It sucks.
It's a weird contrast, too. It's like you have everything going for you. In New York, passionate fan base, all the money in the world with opportunity, and yet you're employing Jose Reyes on the one end.
Mm-hmm. Who is the 6th worst player in baseball, according to Fangraphs WAR.
Yeah. You could make an argument he's worse than that. Just remove the WAR and look at some of the other numbers.
If you just watch him play the game,
he's awful.
I would be better.
Close to it. You couldn't be much worse.
No.
Just like DeGrom could go to bat 9 times. You can't be much worse
like
than
I would pinch hit DeGrom for Reyes. Because DeGrom was actually an infielder in college now.
Well, also, you'd probably pinch hit a lot of people for Reyes
In fact, on his off days, I'd play DeGrom at second over Reyes because he was an infielder by trade when we drafted him.
Oh, we'll come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
July 9, 1755, near Fort Duquesne, a 23-year-old British officer leads his troops in battle during the French and Indian War. 15 years later, a respected Indian chief sat over a council fire with this same man. As he told all those listening, the people yet unborn will hail him as the founder of a mighty empire. The man was George Washington, the first president of the United States.
Celebrating our nation's quest for freedom. From Dr. Eve James at Southern Smiles Family Dentistry in Quincy, 875-3908.
When your AC stops blowing cold air, find relief during Murray AC Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. While you may need to eventually have your AC professionally serviced, O'Reilly Auto Parts has special offers on the items you need to bring the cool back now. Everything from AC compressors to refrigerant. Don't miss Murray AC Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Is your car's AC keeping you cool? With Tallahassee's summer season here to stay, stop in now to any auto and tire super service center and take advantage of their $69 AC recharge special. That's right. Visit any auto and tire super service center and recharge your car's AC for just $69, keeping you and your family cool all summer long. Visit any of their 5 auto and tire super service centers, locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years.
Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute. Brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Wednesday afternoon at SunTrust Park, the Braves blanked the Mets by a score of 2-0, earning their 4th series sweep of 2018. The game would remain scoreless into the bottom of the 4th when Dansby Swanson reached on a one-out double and scored on a Freddie Freeman RBI single. Meanwhile, Mike Soroka carried a no-hitter into the top of the 7th before Michael Conforto led the inning off with an infield single. Soroka allowed just 1 hit and 1 walk over 6 1/3 scoreless innings, earning his 2nd big league win. The Atlanta offense added some insurance in the bottom of the 8th as Freddie Freeman homered to right for his 3rd consecutive game, the longest stretch of his career. Afterwards, he said he knew runs would be at a premium against a guy like Jacob deGrom.
I think he's one of at least top 2, top 3 pitchers in this whole entire game. When we had our advance meeting this morning, it's almost like you just say good luck and hopefully you hit one of them.
Braves now turn their attention to the visiting Padres, who come to town for a 4-game series. Anibal Sanchez gets the nod for Atlanta tonight, while San Diego counters with Tyson Ross. Hear the call right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm excited to get home and watch Shinnecock rear its ugly head, protected today by a rather stiff breeze, or those would be gusts, right? 20 miles per hour.
That's a hell of a 20 seconds right there.
The thing of it is, we had Jeff Hall on last night. He's the guy in charge of the golf course and the USGA's, he is the managing director of rules and open championships. He goes 3 years out from an event.
Wow.
I learned a lot last night. We had him on last year before the U.S. Open, but he talked about the 04 Open and how they lost the course, namely number 7. Number 7 was the one where Kevin Stadler, Craig's son, had, I think, a 4-foot putt, missed the putt, ended up 50 yards from the hole. That's called losing a golf course. So it was at that point they decided we've got to water these greens between groups.
Right, yeah.
So they would race out there for the first time in the history of the event and just soak the greens and the surrounding areas for the next group to hit into, and it still wasn't enough. So you had guys missing 5-foot putts and then go down. If they missed on the high side and went down the hill, they ended up out in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, the first 2 groups that day were screwed.
Oh, and they screwed them, and then they made changes after they had already gone through.
That's correct.
Somebody was 10 over on the hole. On the hole. That is, you know how pissed you'd be?
Nothing like a stiff breeze at Shinnecock on a Sunday.
Woo! You know what Phil did that year and why he almost won it? He's a smart guy, first of all, and everybody on tour will talk about that. They'll say, you know what, I mean, Phil and a couple guys, really smart guys, just in general, he recognized that the greens could not receive the golf ball. And so he said that day, he told Bones, I'm just aiming for all bunkers. Because if I can get into a bunker, I can get a bunker to stay on the green with a sand wedge, or I'll just open it up and hit it straight up in the air. It will stay on the green. I got a shot. But if I hit at a green from anywhere outside of the sand, it's not going to stay, so there's no sense. And he was the first guy to just employ the strategy, remove the flag, where's the nearest bunker? I'm firing for the damn bunker.
Well, one thing about this week, no matter what the final score is and what the conditions are like, through Sunday, because they can change day to day and they may change the course and the way they manage the course.
Right, if the wind goes away, you can score there.
Correct. This is not last year. This is not Aaron Hills.
Oh, 16 under won with Brooks last year. They
right,
just
the
picked
USGA
it apart.
looked at that and they said, the hell with this.
No.
But also, it's not 2004, because I wonder what that course would have played like if the winds were this particular direction. I mean, it wasn't just that it was very difficult and they didn't care about the players and there was a lot of scandal around that year. But if you looked at the greens, just the color of them, they were all dead. They were all brown, and at least this looks like a lush course if you hit it where it's supposed to be hit.
But the problem was that happened on the final day, too, where they had mowed it down so close and rolled the greens so often, and there's debate as to did somebody do it in the middle of the night and all that other stuff. The truth's never been known, but they wanted it to have teeth. They overdid it. And they couldn't overcome it. They needed to grow it out, and they couldn't, and it was too late, and then it got windblown, and they were screwed.
Now, I know this sounds crazy, especially if you don't play golf at all. You'd say, my God, you really? But you can spray paint greens or around greens to make them look better than they are.
But they're not,
I don't think they're doing that.
No, they're not doing that.
The course looks pretty lush to me, which is
listen, all week long, the players praised the course
right.
that they played in practice rounds.
Yes.
The problem is the wind blew the other way in those practice rounds, so they didn't get a taste of this.
Dating back to last weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we talked to a club pro at a course that's right next to it, and he plays – I'm beating the hell out of my mic here. Last night we talked to him, and he plays the course all the time. Oh, Eden Foster. He's the head professional at Maidstone Club on Long Island, right there. And he told us the hardest part, and Jeff Hall from the USGA said this too, the hardest part is if you hit – it's interesting when you – the more I learn about this, you probably already knew this growing up playing golf, but, okay, so everybody's got a shot shape that they prefer to hit, right? And the best players in the world, if they have to, can play outside that comfort zone. They can say, well, I got to cut it on this golf course, or I got to hit it high on this golf course, or I got to hit it low on this golf course and let it run, whatever that might be. But not everybody has that in their bag. A lot of guys are the best of the world, but they really need to play certain courses because their shot shape is right to left, or it's high, or it's low, or whatever it is. We hear about the Masters, right? You got to hit the ball high at the Masters to get it land soft.
Or the Open Championship, keep it low.
Keep it low, right. Run it, use the
when I'm out in Brighton next month, I'm going to have to keep everything low.
Right. So that's fascinating, right? But the best players in the world can hit all those shots. Tiger, famously, Jack famously, they could hit all of those shots. Not everybody can. So you have to identify, if you're going to bet on a guy, you got to identify, can he do that? Or is he just pretty much hits a high draw? Because it ain't happening today. Because there are, from hole to hole, different wind directions. The course challenges you in that way, too. Even when it's a light breeze, hole 1 doesn't play like hole 2 from a wind direction standpoint, like hole 3 or like hole 4. They all are different. And so hole to hole, you're being challenged with a different direction of the wind, and you got to be able to play it that way. Once we get around 20 miles per hour, well, it doesn't really matter. You're just kind of screwed.
Growing up, I'm a straight ball hitter, honestly, if I'm hitting it well. So I just kind of aim where the wind is coming from, and then I let the wind carry it to where it's going to go.
Right.
I don't know that I hit it particularly high, but, growing up around the Bay Area in Tampa, especially Pinellas County, get out towards the Gulf, there were some breezes now. I grew up playing windy courses. Here it's not nearly as bad. It's just the topography is different here. But it depends. I go play in New York, and there are a different set of challenges than there were here or in Tampa Bay.
I want to go play in Denver, where apparently it just goes for days.
I have played 2 rounds. One in the mountains all the way up in the Rockies, in Vail, Colorado.
I've been to Vail.
And then one in Castle
Mm-hmm.
Castle Rock, Castle Pines. I forget what it is. But yes, you have to account for it.
It just goes on for
There's
days.
A percentage. Yeah, if you really catch it, it's a blast, especially if it's a downhill hole.
You're like,
you can sit there for
forever.
days.
Yeah,
it looks like a Frisbee almost.
It's fun playing golf in Las Vegas. If you haven't done that, that's a good play.
Not.
Dry and arid. It's fun.
It would keep me out of the casinos, so that would be good.
I did both. You can do both.
I'd probably stick to the golf and the sports betting.
I did both. It was a good time all the way around. Probables, fired up. Here we go.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Rays, Yankees, Blake Snell, Domingo Germán.
My name is Sunday.
Padres, Braves, Tyson Ross, Anibal Sanchez still pitching. Mets, D-backs. D-backs got right against my Pirates. Mets are the Mets. Jason Vargas, Matt Koch. Gonna trust that he goes with Koch.
Ron Washington likes that guy.
Red Sox, Mariners, David Price, Felix Hernandez. And that's a look at those that shall reside on the bump. A lot of day games. To double back before we say goodbye, to go home and watch the U.S. Open, I did learn something, too, about Shinnecock and just in general for these USGA and setting up these courses in the majors. They are so much better off because of technology now than they were in 2004. You virtually can't have what happened in 2004 happen now. They constantly use moisture probes around the green, on the green. They know if it's too dry on a Wednesday or on Thursday. They know where they're at with that. They have more objective data at their disposal at all times. They've got a stimp meter, a more advanced stimp meter reading that they can use than they had back then as well. So, yeah, they know.
The scores look like they're trying to screw the players. They're just trying to test them, but the conditions are testing them even more.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. 9,000 people started with the quest to qualify for the Open. The 9,000 dropped to 156. 49 of the 156 are first-timers in the Open. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I had no idea.
Boy.
There's 20.
Good luck.
No, there's 30 amateurs playing.
Well, damn. They're getting the ride of a lifetime
I was
today.
about to say, our own Harry Ellis out there, you throw up anything below 85 today, you're doing just fine because, there are guys that are certainly more accomplished than Harry Ellis that are out there throwing up 85s. We had a pro today, more than one, shoot over, last check, over 90.
At my best, which is age 19, 20, if I could fire under a 95 on this course, I'd be doing backflips the way it's playing today.
Oh, I think so. It looks like Rory and others will be doing backflips.
Yes.
Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Enjoy your evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.